Alright. Take two, boys. Let's try this shit again. Jesus. Houdini, welcome back. Julio Henrique Esteban, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Alright, so we're going to keep this one pretty simplified. It's doing the same thing again. Dropped frame rates. It's so ass, dude. I don't even know why. So sad. Oh well. We're going to continue on as if there's no issues at all. Yeah, it's still reading that there's poor stream quality over here. Whatever, dude. It's fine for you? Alright, that's fine. Honestly, this might just be more of a let's chill out and talk kind of thing anyway. Just so we can keep, shit pretty limited as far as our, what's it called? Our CPU usage. Since apparently YouTube is saying that my stream is dog shit, so I don't know. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right, that's right. House of the Dragon is shit. And yes, as a matter of fact, it is shit. And let me tell you how shit it is. It's so shit that the god of the universe that created A Song of Ice and Fire has stepped back from the project and was like, you know what? Y'all do whatever the fuck you want. I'm no longer a part of this. And that's exactly what the fuck happened, too. I guess my chat widget just doesn't exist either. That's cool. Love that for myself. Whatever, dude. I don't give a shit. We were at, god damn it. Yes, as a matter of fact, we were at, god damn it. But yeah, so I don't know, man. Like, House of the Dragon was just a fucking mess, just an absolute mess. And I have no words for how absolutely disappointing the what's it called? The finale was, man. The finale was just so bad, man. So bad. And it just doesn't make sense to me why they chose the direction that they did, knowing good and damn well that the quality wasn't going to be as stellar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Game of Thrones, like, the first 6 seasons was a lot to live up to. And they dropped the ball with House of the Dragon, I feel. And the only reason I feel this way is because I have a little bit of preliminary knowledge from the books, so I had high expectations. I knew what I was looking into. And they essentially took what was like a historical retelling of like a massive militaristic, war between a civil war between several key players of one singular nation, one united kingdom essentially. And they reduced it down into like this soap opera Grey's Anatomy fucking like dramatized character drama, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is awful. They gave us Alicent and Sir Criston Cole having sex multiple times entirely unprompted and for no fucking reason. It really feels like it didn't do anything for either of those characters. Like, not at all. Alicent is still essentially alone from the beginning of season 1 to the end of season 2, because even though she was friends with Rhaenyra and she had like her children and her, her husband, the king, and whatever, she, as a character, has constantly expressed like how alone she is. Like, her father doesn't give a shit about her. Kids doesn't give a shit about her. She lost her best friend Rhaenyra. She lost her husband, the king, so on and so forth. And so she's essentially alone. And then her relationship with Sir Criston Cole didn't amount to anything, and she's still alone. She doesn't even think about that fucking man. But Sir Criston suddenly is all like sad and depressed because, I saw dragons kill people, and I'm not allowed to frick the princess or the queen, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. And it's like, bro, like, your characters don't make sense. Your characters suck. Your characters suck. Like, 100% they do. And it's disappointing to see that they reduced such intricate plot lines into this petty Grey's Anatomy bullshit, bro. It's like, y'all are a bunch of doctors like that live in a hospital, that work in a hospital, and you're all fucking each other and you're mad about it. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's good for drama for sure, but it's not what House of the Dragon was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's not what it was intentionally written to be. It was a militaristic retelling of the massive civil war of the Dance of the Dragons. Like, House of the Dragon is about the Dance of Dragons, and we've seen one dance. I wouldn't even consider the death of Jace or Lucerys Velaryon part of the dance. Like, that was basically like the tipping point that was supposed to spiral into it. And then you get down into, like, everybody was trying to justify what happened in season 1 about, like, oh, you know, it's just the buildup. It's just the buildup. This is just supposed to be the preliminary knowledge. But, like, what actually happens in the book kicks off right here at the end of the final episode of season 1. This is where the book actually starts the story. And then it just, you know, spirals down into boom, 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 battle, 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 fire, fire, and shit like that. And then we get into season 2, and it's still more buildup. They essentially have done nothing. They spent all season marching to war. They spent all season tightening their belt buckles to be able to march to war. They're still, like, cleaning their swords. It took them 8 fucking episodes to do that. And it's like, y'all haven't accomplished anything. Like, your characters are still so bland and boring and disgusting and so filled with their own petty drama to actually get anything done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't accomplished anything that was supposed to have been accomplished at this point in the Dance of Dragons. Like, nothing was done. And it's so sad. It's so sad. But I don't know, man. Like, I will always be absolutely disappointed with how nonchalant they were with the blood and cheese situation, how quickly they were to brush off the Battle of Burning Mill and then in turn the Siege of Stonehenge. Like, both of those things didn't matter. And then people on the internet are so quick to defend, like, the showrunners because, oh, well, you can't, like, how, God forbid they create a show that's more than just battles. It's like, that's what this was supposed to be. Like, this whole, because what people don't understand is that House of the Dragon isn't written in the same context as the Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon is written in the context of, like, a maester retelling what happened. Like, we're not getting the character arcs. They're not, like, POV chapters of the different characters. It's one fucking maester writing down what happened years ago in the Dance of Dragons. They don't give a shit about how many times Alicent and Sir Criston Cole fucked. They don't give a shit that Mysaria, the White Worm, had a makeout section with the Queen that never amounted, that they never talk about again. Like, they threw it in there for what? For what? I can't even say for plot or for drama, because it doesn't create plot and it doesn't create drama. It doesn't create tension between characters because they never talk about it again. Nobody talks about it. Nobody brings it up. There's one moment maybe where Jace gives Mysaria the, like, side-eye as he's leaving the room, but that's it. Nobody ever says anything else about it the rest of the season. And it's like, so what was the fucking point? What was the fucking point? Like, it really does suck absolute ass. Like, and it's not even bad. Like, it's not even bad. But it just isn't what I wanted it to be. It's not what I expected it to be. And it's not what they promised us either. When you look back over the past 2 years before the season came out, they were giving us promo after promo of, like, oh yeah, the war begins in season 2. Everybody must choose a side. And then you get down into the season and, like, all the sides are already, like, chosen. Nobody really gives a shit about changing sides at this point. And there is no war. Like, they gave us an off-screen Battle of Burning Mill. They gave us an off-screen Siege of Stonehenge. They gave us, like, the aftermath of the Siege of Duskendale, and then they gave us a very brief moment of the Siege of Rook's Rest, which admittedly was cinematically very beautiful. With the amount of technology that we have to give us dragons, to give us full-blown battle scenes and everything, they should have leaned into that, but they didn't. They went more for the drama route. They wanted to emphasize the different character arcs and the individuality and the autonomy of each of these characters, when in reality it doesn't fucking matter. Is that not also the conclusion that Daemon comes to in the season finale? Like, oh, I'm not a player in this game. My part doesn't fucking matter, because all that matters is apparently Azor Ahai and the song "The Prince Who Was Promised" and Daenerys is gonna come back and, rebirth the dragons from stone. And it's like, okay, like, you're not making any sense here. Like, your plot is really, 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 really all over the fucking place. And then at the end of the season, you've got the Greybeards from the north who are finally making it past, like, the neck and through the twins, even though, like, Jason Lannister hasn't even made it from fucking the Golden Tooth into the Riverlands yet. That man hasn't done anything. Like, what's taking you so fucking long? The High Towers are still marching. They're the only ones that I'll actually give props for, because it's like, okay, like, Old Town is a long fucking ways away, from the Riverlands, from where the front of the war is. So I'll give them that much. But, like, the Riverlands immediately borders the Westerlands. Like, Golden Tooth is right fucking there, my guy. Like, why have we not made a move yet? You know what I'm saying? And in all the time that these armies are still marching, like, literally takes so long to march, like, they can hop, like, the characters can hop on a boat, be in King's Landing, and be out in no time flat. Like, Rhaenyra goes to visit Alicent in the Red Keep, not in the Red Keep, but in King's Landing, in the city, while it's under lockdown. She gets into the city and then gets back to Dragonstone while it's under lockdown. The very same episode where Alicent goes to see Rhaenyra in Dragonstone, Aemond also says, lock down the entire harbor, lock down everything, not a ship leaves without us inspecting it and without us giving them their leave. And then Alicent is just able to leave, like, hop on a fucking boat and head to Dragonstone with no opposition at all. Like, what are you fucking doing here, bro? Like, I don't understand. They've reneged on all of their own world building, on their own lore, on their own plot, and it's almost like they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what direction they're going in. Like, they clearly have no interest in showing us the actual militaristic, like, standards and practices that went into conducting a fucking civil war with your neighbors while there's dragons riding overhead. That's essentially what the Dance of Dragons is about. Like, don't get me wrong, they call it a Dance of Dragons. It sounds all poetic and dramatic and everything. No, bro, like, they're sitting here talking about the devastation it's going to bring to the country because there's dragons killing each other in the sky. Like, are you fucking serious? And they've given us nothing. They've given us nothing. In 8 episodes, it took Daemon tripping balls for 8 episodes to come to the conclusion that he doesn't fucking matter, when we could have just fucking told him that from the get-go. Like, everything in season 8, the entire season, could have been condensed down into maybe 4 episodes. I would have pushed it into 2 episodes and then gotten the fuck on with it, bro. Because at this point, they've advertised and they've built up the Dance of Dragons for 2 seasons, and we've been given absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. In my opinion, what a fucking letdown. Because I was excited for this shit, and they made us wait for 2 years, and now they're going to make us wait for another 2 years. I am telling y'all, if season 3 does not give us, like, because... And I keep wanting to refer back to Game of Thrones because that sets the standard. That sets the standard. Cinematically, by season 2, by the end of season 2 of Game of Thrones, we were already given the skirmishes in the streets. Like, there has been action. And I'm not sitting here saying, like, oh, the show is shit because they're not showing me enough, like, gore and blood. But, like, they put their value for the show in the wrong things. They're like, oh yeah, let's give one of these actors who's supposed to be portraying a child a full fucking frontal with his dick and balls hanging out, and then, like, let's give, like, this fake blowjob in a brothel, like, straight up in your face on the screen. But, like, but dragons killing people, that's a little too much for me. I don't know about all that, guys. And it's just like, bro, grow some fucking spine, bro. Grow a spine and give the people what it is that you promised them. You gave them hopes for this massive civil war with dragons, and you've given us absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. You've given us aftermaths of battles and then, like, a 5-minute clip of an actual siege. Granted, the battle between Meleys and Vhagar was fucking impressive. Like, that was probably the best fucking episode in the season. Just because it actually gave us what they advertised they were going to give us. They're like, oh yeah, you're going to see, like, 14 fucking dragons in this season. And then, like, 90% of the time, it's, like, little clips of them flying away, or whatever, like they did with Tessarion. And then, like, the slightest little, like, peak at Sheep Stealer, and then absolutely nothing after that. And it's like, brother, it took y'all 2 fucking years to do this? What absolute dog shit. But I don't fucking care. The issue is that HBO wants a 4-season show, and that story isn't a 4-season show. It's not, but like at how slow they're gonna make it, it's probably gonna take another 8 seasons. Because like what people don't realize is that the Dance of Dragons is a pretty long conflict. Like, the war doesn't end when Rhaenyra dies. Spoiler alerts for those who haven't read the books. The war doesn't end when Aegon dies. The war doesn't end when Alicent dies. Like, every single major player on the battlefield that we know right now in the show will die in the course of the war, and the war continues on after the fact. Like, there's a lot that they still have to cover in this. Like, we just barely got past the fucking Siege of Duskendale and the Siege of Rook's Rest. Like, we haven't seen anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's... I don't know, man. Like, it's such a letdown. And I feel like the downfall of Hollywood nowadays, like, specifically with HBO and, like, House of the Dragons, also reflects the downfall of video games these days. Is that they have this really bad case of diarrhea of the mouth. They want so much to build up hype for this game or for this show that they talk it into the fucking ground. Like, they hype it up so fucking much so that they can get like a, you know, like how we on YouTube, whenever I drop a brand new series, the first episodes get like fucking 30, 40, 50,000 views. And then like the rest of the series will get like maybe 1,000 views tops. For me, that's pretty impressive. But for a show or like a production for like a video game and shit that has a budget of like a couple X million fucking dollars, like, that's horrible. That is horrible. You've done so much talking and then you failed to deliver, like, at the very end. And it's so shitty for people like us, for the viewers, you know what I'm saying? Because now I have to wait another 2 years to find out if the past 4 years of my life was wasted. Because the season 1 came out in 22. Season 2 just ended in 24. We're not going to get season 3 until 26. And it's like, brother, that's 4 fucking years? Like, that's 4 fucking years that I have to wait to see if your show is worth watching? Like, that's almost asking people to, like, okay, well, if you wait 10 whole years and then binge watch it from beginning to end in all 4 seasons, it'll be worth it. And it's like, I don't want to fucking do that. If that's the case, don't tell me shit about it. Don't tell me you're making it. Don't tell me anything and then just drop it off 6 years from now. I'd rather be surprised with a complete fucking story from beginning to end than you giving us this half-ass bullshit sitting here saying, oh yeah, man, this is the great shit that y'all have been looking for. Like, fuck, bro. Like, at this rate, indie animation is just superior with the rise of glitch. Hell, even fantasy RPGs got better story writing than this shit. No, I agree, 100%. Also, thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. I didn't like ignore it. I just like, I'm so mad, y'all. Like, I'm so mad. And honestly, it's because 90% of my identity has been tied into Game of Thrones and the world of Ice and Fire. Like, I call myself the Lord Commander online, for fuck's sake. You know what I'm saying? Like, our entire channel literally is just head to toe, wall to wall, plastered with Game of Thrones content. Like, even our YouTube banner on our channel comes from an indie, like, old ass, I'm talking like an 8-year-old ass fucking iPhone, iPad game called Game of Thrones Ascent. And honestly, it was one of the greatest games I've ever played. And it's just very disappointing that they don't give a shit about people like us. Like, they don't care. They genuinely do not care. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see more, like, court scenes. I love seeing the small council at work. Like, 100% I do. Everybody's got a role. Everybody's talking about their roles and what implications it has for the war and for the people and for the realm and everything like that. And so I feel like there's consequence to it, but like, there's no consequence to the minor relationships. There was no consequence to Daemon and Rhaenyra having their little spat and then Daemon spending all season in Harrenhal, because at the very end he still bends the knee again, calls her his queen again, and then promises to raise an army in her name again. In the end, like, by the time we get through the whole season, every single character is exactly where they are. Rhaenyra's ready to start a war. Jacaerys is ready to fight said war. Daemon is raising an army to fight said war. Aemond is ready to burn everybody because of said war. Like, nothing has changed. Like, absolutely nothing has changed throughout the course of the season. I feel like it's such a fucking letdown. And I don't know, man. Sorry. I didn't mean to go off like that, but fuck, bro. Like that, it's really upsetting, you know? But again, like, I feel like I skipped over this, but referencing back to Game of Thrones, by this time, by the end of season 2 in Game of Thrones, we already had, like, the Battle of Blackwater Bay. We've already had, like, minor skirmishes in the streets. We've had people actively doing shit and dying to further the plot. But as right now, they've taken this story that has been zoomed out so far that it's like X amount of years covered over like a very minimal, you know, scope of pages, and they've zoomed in so much that they forgot everything else. They can't even tell time correctly, or distance, or space, or whatever correctly in their own series. Like, I can't tell you how long it's been between each episode. At least in season 1, they gave us a little bit of a scope. Oh, it's barely been half a year since my wife died. Oh, it's been 4 years since that happened. Why are you still talking about it? In this season, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm back from King's Landing, and it's like, when the fuck did you leave? Where did you go, woman? And it's like, you've given us nothing. You've given us nothing. Like, beyond just the fact that we haven't seen any of the dragon versus dragon combat, beyond the fact that we haven't seen any of the actual armies fighting in the war for Rhaenyra's claims, like, they haven't given us anything except drama, except character drama. And it's like, if that's what you wanted to do, write a fucking telenovela. You would have saved yourself a lot of time and fucking money, bro. Like, but you took this beloved IP, this idea that everybody was excited to see transcribed into the big screen, like fucking visualized before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? And you did absolutely nothing with it. Like, that fucking sucks. Anyway, Rebellious Daemon, the man that bends the knee like at every moment. Simon Strong was great, though. I agree. I think that Simon Strong was probably one of the most interesting characters in the show, without a doubt. I will also say, I do like Gwaine Hightower, Alicent's brother. There's something about his face that I don't really like. I'm just like, why do you look like that, bro? But his character and the way he interacts with other characters, I'm like, okay, I like you. I like you. There's something about you that I like. But anyway, Elmo Tully is also pretty good. I agree. So I have this friend that, so I've been watching each and every episode with the Queen and with a couple of our friends as well. So we've been watching each episode every week, every Sunday when it comes out. And my friend, she's like, oh, I don't like that kid. I feel like he's really sketch. Part of me just was like, if he comes walking up to me talking all that shit, I would have just fucking drop kicked his ass. And I'm like, for sure, but I feel like that's kind of the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's young, so you kind of have no choice but to, like, you know, kind of brush him off, wave him off, because he's this little kid. Like, what's he gonna do? But then he, like, talks at you. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't talking to Daemon. He wasn't talking, like, you know, acknowledging him. He was talking at Daemon. He was telling him what was up. He's like, you may be the king consort, but you came into my lands, and radicalized my people, my vassals, against one another to fit your agenda. Like, king or no, you will answer for that crime. So either you dish out my justice, dish out your queen's justice, or I will call the queen down here and she'll deal with your ass. It was that fucking simple. And honestly, like, there's not a man, woman, or child within the Riverlands who's gonna raise a fucking finger to help you without justice being served. So, honestly, I fucked with that dude. I really do enjoy Elmo Tully. Like, you know when a Tully tells you that you fucked up. Not for real. Yeah, chances are they'll cut both of the Tumbletons. I agree. Let's see. What else can I shit on House of the Dragon about? I don't know. Like, how do you leave a season off with such a cliffhanger? You know what I'm saying? Like, and not even a cliffhanger, but like you just haven't done anything. Like, imagine if they ended season 1 of Game of Thrones with Bran being pushed out the tower, or Ned Stark getting his head chopped off, or Daenerys jumping into the fire, and then we don't get to see the immediate effect 2 years later until the next season comes out. That, Bran becomes the three-eyed raven, and Daenerys becomes the mother of dragons. It's like, you've given us nothing. You've given us nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the very least, the cliffhangers at the end of the seasons of Game of Thrones have actively, forwarded the plot. You know what I'm saying? Because what a lot of people don't understand is that this isn't just like, rewriting a story for the big screen. Like, it's a story that has a plot, and those consequences and actions, or the actions and then consequences of actions that these characters have had, further the plot. But right now, these show writers are so obsessed with drama. It's more so about like perception. Oh, how is this character going to perceive this happening, or how is this character going to react to this happening, without actively furthering the plot? You know what I'm saying? Like, did we all just forget that Daemon murdered a child? Did we all just forget that I don't know, Alicent, that Aemond murdered a child? Like, hello, are we all gonna forget the fact that Aegon has like bastard children that he likes to watch fight to the death in the fucking fighting pits of fucking King's Landing? Like, hello? But like, apparently none of it matters. Like, are we gonna forget the fact that two Kingsguard, like a Kingsguard and a Queensguard, both of whom are twin brothers, murdered each other because of the the shittiness of one ruler or another? Like, there's no consequences here. Nothing happens. You know what I'm saying? And I can't get over that. I genuinely cannot get over that. And I'm not trying to sit here and like talk all this shit like I'm a screenwriter or like I'm a writer of any kind, but I like to read books, and I recognize when shit happens that has no effect later on or even immediately after. Like, I can recognize that shit, and I recognize it here because I'm watching it happen. Like, unless you're going to sit here and tell me that Missaria, the White Worm, meets her end at the hands of Daemon because Daemon finds out that they had a little lesbian makeout scene, then, you know what, I'll brush it off and I was like, that's fine. Cool. I understand. But, like, the whole fact that they and this will always get me because I was so excited for Burning Mill, but the fact that they rewrote that whole character arc, that whole portion of the war in the Riverlands between the Blackwoods and the Brackens, like, just to fit Daemon's personal character arc. Like, Samwell Blackwood was supposed to be slain at Stonehenge, or Burning Mill, and then Amos Bracken was supposed to be killed supposedly by Alysanne Blackwood, or Black Alley, in the same battle. But they rewrote it so that nothing happens in the battle. You don't even see it happening. And then some random Blackwood guy commits war crimes for Daemon and then gets executed for it to further Daemon's own personal character arc, which doesn't make sense in the end anyway, because it's like it did nothing for him. It gave him the Riverlands, sure, but like, in the books, he didn't have to go through all that to get the Riverlands. He goes down there, and they're all like, fuck yeah, bro. Like, I remember my oath, and I bent a knee to your father and to his chosen heir, and I meant that shit. You know, even if it wasn't me, if it was my dad or his dad, they meant that shit. And I'm not fixing to turn back on that. What the fuck do you think this is? And like, none of that matters. It's like they just completely rearranged what honor and oaths mean in fucking Westeros to fit their own personal drama. But whatever, dude. Also, where's Bloody Ben? For real, bro. Like, that man, like, Jesus Christ. They reneged on so much for their own whatever, bro. And even Ryan Condal's gone out and said publicly, like, I'm not recreating the story that was written. I'm making something else. And it's just like, why, bro? Like, you told us, you advertised this as being, you know, the Dance of Dragons, as being the House of the Dragon, and you haven't delivered that. I feel like there's some American law that says we can sue them because of it, because that's false advertising. Like, people sued the director of fucking Megan because there was a scene that they advertised in the trailer that wasn't in the movie, and they sued for money because of it. And it's just like, why can't we do the same fucking thing? They haven't given us anything. Also, yes, I did get a haircut. I got it cut really short because it's Texas and it's August and it's already 108 fucking degrees outside and it's hot. and I work 50 days a week or 50 hours a week. Yeah, they had the North coming early with them at the Twins and at the end of the season. How fast they made Kermit Lord of the Riverlands. Yeah, for real. Sorry, I know I've been neglecting reading chat, but Jesus. The deaths coming in the last 2 seasons won't even hit the same. They cut most scenes of both side characters. It will not be Game of Thrones vibes at all in terms of characters' loss and not as sad. I agree. The last, like, really sad death in the show was probably Eric and Eric, the Kingsguard and the Queensguard. And then, obviously, like, Viserys, good old Vizzy T. Otherwise, like, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. I cared more about Jory dying at the hands of Jaime Lannister outside a brothel in King's Landing than I gave a shit about Vaemond getting his head cut in half in the courtroom of fucking, you know, of the Red Keep. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know? Corrupted Saintess. Hi, new and... Sorry, hold on. This thing is weird. Hold on. Okay. New, and I love your series of Crusader Kings 3. Hard to find custom house plays like yours. It seems from your words that the show sort of went Wattpad fiction direction after hearing you. Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon didn't finish. Yeah, I agree. Grayzo, what's going on, my friend? How are you? It's good to see you, bud. We're over here ranting about how bad, you know, House of the Dragon was. I'm also procrastinating actually starting the main content of our live stream just because OBS software keeps telling me that my stream quality is ass, so I don't know. I'm procrastinating a little bit. Also, how did Corlys just not care that Daemon killed his nephew? I don't know. I think in the shows they said Vaemond was his brother, right? Like during the battle of the Stepstones and shit. You know, Vaemond's talking all that shit about Daemon being a madman. And then Corlys grabs his arm and he's like, "You may be my brother, but I will not have you fomenting treason under my command," or some shit like that. I don't remember. We're writing better shit than House of the Dragon with the custom houses. No, I agree, man. And see, that's what I love so much about, you know, Game of Thrones. That's what Game of Thrones gave to me, you know? So I'm gonna do a little bit more, like, chit-chatting just for a little bit. Isn't kinslaying bad in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon? It is, actually. Pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Still would make it worse if he was the brother. No, I agree. Stream's decent on your side. Nice. Grayzo, it's always great to hear from you, my man. Like, genuinely one of my closest, you know, content creator friends that I've made, for sure. Between you, JBD, and Soul Tomato, man, I've got some pretty great friends. And then, of course, like, my community, me and Austrian Dude, we chit-chat all the time. Me and Spartan chit-chat all the time. And there's a bunch of, like, the OG guys who are just, I don't know, life gets in the way. So, it's all right. But anyway, I have always been one of those kids growing up, I suppose, who enjoyed, like, I don't know, like, role playing, you know? Like, I was definitely one of those kids that was like, "Oh, look at this fucking stick. This stick is like my staff, the staff of thunder wind," you know, some bullshit like that. I was one of those kids, but it transcended just being outside. Like, it infected every single part of my life as a child. Like, everything was a means of role play. Everything was a means of creating a new story, you know what I'm saying? And it genuinely did start from Lord of the Rings. So I don't remember this happening, but my mom has like a home video, like literally a little, like, you know, flip camera, like, recording thing of like a Christmas or some shit, right? And we're all opening gifts, and It's me and my older brother and my little brother, and we with the two oldest boys, we open our gifts because our little brother's still like a baby at this point. But so me and my older brother, we're opening our gifts, and I'm telling you, I have to be like, fuck, like maybe 5 or 6 years old, dude. But I open it up, and it's one of those like old covered in plastic like action figures where it has like the little detachable swords and the daggers and the, you know, and like the cloaks and shit like that, but it's Legolas. And then in the video, you can hear little 4, 5, 6-year-old me saying like, "It's a Wegowis, it's a Wegowis," and I'm just like, how the fuck do I know who that is? How do I know who that is? How do I know his name? How can I recognize what he looks like? You know what I'm saying? Especially at that young, like you're telling me that the obsession hit me so hard at such a young age, and then I fucking floods back into like every single memory I've ever had, and I'm just like, fuck, the evidence is there. I was one of those weird kids. And sure as shit, bro, like everything became a means of like an adventure, of a story, of something, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe I wasn't the main character, like even doing chores, like my siblings and I would do chores as part of like a game, and whenever like whoever finished the chores first, like, you started the slave rebellion, now it's time to go and make a mess, and we would literally just go out and, you know, fuck around and do kid shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, as far as like creating custom characters and shit, that started at an early age too. It started with Transformers, the first Transformers movie. I was like, oh, you know what would be so cool is if they had a tank transformer, and when he's like coming out of his tank form into his big form, he like reaches an arm up and he grabs like the barrel of the gun and pulls the whole top of the tank off his back, and it turns into a fucking battle axe. And that's what me and my friends would do, and we would draw pictures of our little characters and we would act it out. And that's the shit that we would do as like, you know, crazy cringy little fucking kids. And then Game of Thrones came. Like, well, let me go back, because Star Wars came. That was my older brother's shit, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. You got me there. And for me, my obsession wasn't so much with Star Wars, but the concept of like how big the universe was. You know what I'm saying? We came from this, you know, tiny little world of Middle Earth into the, you know, bigger galaxy of like Earth and Cybertron, into the expansive universe of fucking, you know, the galaxy far, far away. You know what I'm saying? The outer rim, the inner rim, Coruscant, Tatooine, so on and so forth. And so, of course, creating characters with such a wide scope of like creative possibility was just fucking mind-blowing for my little, like, I don't know, 8-year-old self, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Anakin and Obi-Wan, fucking badasses. The clone troopers, badasses. So, of course, naturally, I created my own Jedi General and my own little color-coordinated fucking legion of you know, super clone troopers and shit like that. And then Game of Thrones came out. And then Game of Thrones came out in 2010, and oh my god, the way all of that may have just been, like, anybody could have seen what I just went through as a child between Lord of the Rings and Transformers and Star Wars, and is like, he's just a kid. You know, like, could have just brushed it off as like, that's just childish play. That's just what children do. But then 2010 rolls around, and then Game of Thrones gave everything purpose. Suddenly, everything had a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because everything in Game of Thrones had a purpose. Every minor lord had a name, had a sigil, had a history. You know what I'm saying? I know Lord of the Rings did the same, but this was now at an age where I was old enough to comprehend what it meant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did so much research as like a fucking 11, 12-year-old watching this show. Like, who were the Mutants? They mentioned this house. Who were they? What did they do? You know what I'm saying? And then, obviously, Crusader Kings came out, and it just placed everything into its fucking slot. And what's crazy is that I had just opened up Crusader Kings with the Game of Thrones mod for the first time, like, last year. Like, maybe last year. If y'all can go back and see the very first video I ever put out where I touched this game for the first time. And it's on our channel. Like, it is recorded history now. But, like, my God. It's a world designed to where anything can happen, anybody could be anybody. You can drop a character in the middle of wherever and it just be and just watch life fucking, you know what I'm saying? That sounds so dramatic and cringy, but like it's so important to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's important to like why I choose to do what I do. There's people who ask me like, when are you gonna play as like the Jon Snow when he's Lord Commander of the Night's Watch? When are you gonna play as Robert during Robert's Rebellion? When are you gonna try and save Lyanna Stark as Ned Stark? And I'm like, I'm fucking not. Like, those stories are already written. My story has yet to be written. I am writing my story, guys. Like, and I don't choose one singular lifetime. I don't choose what is familiar. I want to create something new with what is familiar. You know what I'm saying? You all recognize how the politics of Westeros works. You all recognize who the main players of the game are. So if I were to throw a random character in the smallest little county in the middle of it and then make his story happening within the realm of what we already know, y'all can recognize that. But it's a brand new story with what is familiar still there. And it's, I don't know, it's become such a core part of my personality. If y'all have watched the Disney movies Inside Out, like, that's how it hits me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my core personality, the personality islands that I have, like, has been so intricately and, like, viciously and unapologetically fucking altered by Game of Thrones, guys. Like, and I have no idea why. And I feel like if I were to talk to a therapist about this, they would tell me it's because I have an identity disorder. But I'm also going to tell them, you don't know what you're talking about, Dracarys. Light his ass on fire. But anyway, I don't know. That was nice. I don't know why I just dished all that out to you guys. Sorry. But anyway, lads, that I don't know. But going back to what Corrupted Saintess said, yes, I do, in fact, have a lot of custom characters, but that's because custom characters mean more to me than, like, recreating what we already know. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's also a big issue with, like, movie adaptations of shit. You know, they want to recreate what's already been made. Like, they wanted to recreate the story of Master Chief with the Halo show, and then they missed the mark widely, you know? And they wanted to recreate what was written in the House of the Dragon, and they missed the mark widely. And it's like, so why are you recreating what's already written? Why not pick a different story or create one of your own within the universe? And that, I will die on this hill. And that is where the Fallout show is fucking peak, absolutely fucking superior. They didn't take the story of the Vault Dweller or the Lone Survivor or the Courier and they recreated it on the big screen for us to witness. No, they created a brand new fucking story within the familiar IP world that we know. And it's so fucking, like, fantastic. I was having such a great time watching the Fallout show that throughout the entire season, I didn't even realize that not once have I seen the iconic Deathclaw. Like, Deathclaws are, like, iconic to the universe of Fallout, and we didn't see one at all. And I didn't notice because I was having so much fun watching the show because it hit all of the Fallout marks for me. And it's like, so why aren't we doing more of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's the same thing. And I brought this up to coworkers of mine because my coworkers and I, we talk a lot to this degree, you know? And it's like, brother, like, if they were to make like an Elder Scrolls show, don't give me the story of Morrowind. Don't give me the story of the Dragonborn. Show me, like, I don't know, Pelinal Whitestrake as he slaughters the orcs and the dragons and unites High Rock under the first, like, knightly kingdom of fucking, you know, the Bretons and shit. Show me a unique character who doesn't really have an effect on, like, the overarching story or lore of Elder Scrolls, but is a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Or do a continuation, like what they did with Fallout. Fallout happens X amount of years after the latest, you know, installments of the video games. So technically it's a continuation in the timeline of what happens in the video games. And that's fine. They hit the mark with it. They did really fucking good. It was damn near a bullseye. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. They moved it from Death Valley to LA? What do you mean? My main gripe with the Fallout show is they nuked Shady Sands off screen. Well, yeah, because it's a continuation. That's why. It was like all of California at this point. Create something new from the same universe that could hold, make sense from, since it's from it, or so, but don't have to be there, be the before characters. Okay, so yes, like I agree. You know, like create something new from it without altering the story. Create something new with it that doesn't necessarily affect the story. And I don't know, like people, I feel like people would react to that very well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like throughout the course of Game of Thrones, give me a story where there's like a Braavosi pit fighter who's fighting for his freedom, and then maybe catches a glimpse of fucking Daenerys Targaryen as she's like presiding over one of the fights in the later seasons. You know, like that adds drama, that adds familiarity, that adds to the, or it's a character within the story that doesn't necessarily affect the main story of Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? Like you can give us, you know, side characters, create something else. Like be creators, don't be recreators. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, but I also understand that shareholders are a thing, and it all comes down to the almighty $, because that's essentially what this is. They're all like, oh, well, we don't know if anybody's going to watch it because you're creating something new, whereas this has a very positive, you know, reception because people bought X amount of copies of this book, so we're just going to recreate what's in the book. And it's like, okay, but y'all also fucking suck as storytellers because you're letting, you know, money fucking drive your creative process, and you're all fucking stupid, so I don't know. Anyway. I'm telling you, man, hop off of CK3 AGOT and hop on CK2. It is so much better. See, I would, but I have things cooking up. And I have secret things cooking up that I'm actually not allowed to tell you yet. And not that I don't want to tell you, trust me. I have been very tempted to DM one or a few of you, or even our whole entire Discord, about said secret things that are being cooked up. But this is not like a Lord Commander exclusive thing, but rather an exclusive thing that the Lord Commander has been invited to. And I am very, very fucking excited to share said secret things with you guys. So, I will say, no spoilers, but the finale of our House Embermane series will air this Sunday. The finale is finally here. We're finally going to end the series, and the reason I'm choosing to end the series at this point is because the Dragon update for the Game of Thrones mod that you're seeing here is coming on the 28th, I believe is what the release date said. For those of you who don't know, the Dragon update, they will be adding fully fledged dragons to the game of Crusader Kings 3, a Game of Thrones mod. And that will be airing, or that update goes live on August 28th at the end of this month. So, rather than trying to drag on this campaign of ours for any longer than it needs to be, I'm going to go ahead and team myself up to start this one, the Storm Dragon series that we built together, House Meloros. And I'm not gonna lie, the more I think about House Meloros, the more fucking excited I get, bro, because this shit is so cool. Y'all cooked the fuck up with Lord Timerian of House Meloros, like 100%. Dragon, nice pun. Grazo, you silly son of a bitch. I love you so much, dude. My words were back to what the commander said: create new within the old, but don't collide. No, 100%. You're absolutely right. Dragon's finally coming without a mod. 100%, dude. It's going to be awesome. As a matter of fact, we might, if y'all are interested, we can go through and read some of the dev diaries on Reddit. Just because I've been reading a lot of the dev diaries, and I've been really excited with how it's been going. Also, for brief spoilers, I did it logged me out. Rat bastards. I don't even remember my fucking login information, brother. Like, what do you mean? Hold on. I'm going to put y'all on pause cuz I don't remember exactly what's on my Oh, yeah, see, nope, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I don't want y'all to judge me, all right? But I had this thing, right? Back when I was poor and very broke and before I started doing YouTube. I was going to draw hentai porn on the internet for money. And I had a subreddit all teed up, or not a subreddit, but a Reddit account all teed up so I could start doing that. And it didn't go anywhere, but the login information is saved, and I don't know how to delete my account. So forgive me. I never actually drew anything, all right? But I had the subreddit account set up so I could start doing that. And but anyway, yeah, it's all good. Have to do what you got to do for real. See, don't judge me when there's whole people out there with like OnlyFans accounts. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sit there and judge me when y'all know good and damn well y'all used to watch porn as children. All right, shut the fuck up. But anyway, that's beyond the point. We're not here to talk about my horny past. All right, we're here to talk about the Dragon Development Diaries. We're actually gonna pause this bad boy because this, I believe, is just the release date trailer. Show me. Yeah, August 23rd, so not even as late as the 28th. That's pretty cool. Show me more. Where are the rest of the Dragon Diaries? Brother, Dev Diary. There we go. We're just going to find the thing here. That's fine. We're going to scroll down. We're not going to start, like, all of them. Royal Bastards. That was a year ago. Yeah, the Vision of Dragons. That's super cool. Uber has had contact with me a couple of times, I think on the subreddit mostly. So he's actually really cool. He's really nice. But anyway, going back to what I was saying before, I do have my after action report. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term, but it's essentially like a retelling of what happened throughout multiple lifelines on Crusader Kings. I'm not sure if it has another actual like usage after action report, but this is my first time being made aware of it. So there are after action reports of people's playthroughs on Crusader Kings, and somebody did one for like their House Baratheon playthrough, somebody did one for their custom playthroughs, and I have one that's out complete of our Bastard Lion Legacy, and including spoilers for this Sunday's episode. So if you see it, ignore it. But the after action report is there. It's actually very well made. I made it myself, and it took a long time. I actually went back and rewatched like all 14 episodes of our series just so I can get down like what did we go through throughout this series, what did I put my characters through throughout this series, and it was actually it was pretty fun. But anyway, Closer to Gods and Men, A Rogue Tale, Dragon Pits and Dragon Keepers. I'm actually really excited about that. Hatching and Cradling, also really fucking excited about this one, because hatching and cradling dragons means that we're going to be able to, like, obviously we're going to be able to breed dragons. I feel like that's not a secret. That's been discussed about this mod before. You can catch wild dragons, you can slay wild dragons, you can tame wild dragons, and you can breed tamed dragons and raise them up, you know, like, and that's essentially what our Storm Dragon series is going to be. Is yeah, a dragon's character. Yeah, look at this shit. This is gonna be cool. Yeah, dragon differences in types. Yeah, look at that. They're gonna have like different fucking traits and shit. Yeah, that's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited for this shit, y'all. Look at this guy, and they're gonna have their own portraits, their own temperaments, their own types. Like Percy Peldax. That's a fucking mouthful. Jesus. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, the personality of a dragon. General demeanor. Friendly or aggressive. Skittish or bloodthirsty. Accepting or defiant. Yeah. Reviling submission to any man. Blank is likely to reject riders, orders, or chains. Like Vagar. I feel like that's pretty interesting. Supporting, it seems Blank would be happiest as one of many working henchmen. He or she values being loyal over being in control. Whereas Imperious dragons, there's something almost regal about the interactions between Name and other dragons. He or she expects all dragons and man to submit to him or her. There's calculating dragons, impulsive dragons, cooperative dragons, solitary dragons, restrained dragons, or voracious dragons. Yeah, with an insatiable appetite. That's awesome. Known to feed in excess. Yeah, a gentle giant. Look at that shit. That's fucking cool. Yeah. And effects on different dragon stats, bonding, and even AI personality, which we will use when needed across mechanics. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. Debug AI values. So there, I believe there will be opportunities and console commands that you can use in order to alter your dragon and everything like that. Both, you know, physically, but also like their personality as well. So that should be pretty interesting. So for the longest time, also, my user flair was House Lannister, but I recently changed it to House Baratheon because the Storm Dragon will be our next series. I am going to put a pause on our Bastard Wolf series in favor of our Storm Dragon series, just because the Dragon update is coming out a lot sooner than I expected, and I don't want to rush through or feel like I'm being rushed on making content for both of these series. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, lads. Yeah, look at that. Brings forth a clutch. Purple has laid a clutch of 3 eggs. My dragon keepers have quickly thrown together new areas for incubation, having not expected more than a single egg. The rest of the world looks on in envy as I have been blessed with these treasures. Born from purple, today is more wealth than almost all families will ever know, or more power than they will ever be able to wield. Soon all the scions of House Targaryen will take to the skies. Of course, having laid a clutch, we know that purple is in fact a female dragon. Very nice. But just look at the dragon in the background too, bro. Like, why do they look so fucking cool? Pog about the Baratheon banner. I know you like that shit, Duke. Anyway, so that's that one. Yeah, the dragon and its types, the anatomy of the dragon portrait. This one I'm super excited about because obviously we're going to be able to like customize our dragons and shit. But beyond that, customizing like what traits they have. Because if you'll notice, like Cyrax and Caraxes and Sea Smoke all look very, very much different. Same thing with Silverwing and Vermithor and Vagar. They all have very distinct, very different dragon looks, dragon traits and everything, and these dragons aren't any different. Like, look at this shit. Like, come the fuck on, bro. Like, obviously the horns aren't that different, but like this looks like just a very basic outlook. Maybe this is all of just like a bunch of different looks from like the same dragon type. Yeah, see, look at that. There we go. Some of these spikes look different. Holy shit, that was terrifying. Oh my god. Yeah, homie's looking a little rough. Yeah, look at that. You've got the dragon rider on the portrait. That's badass, dude. Yeah, super fucking cool. Hatching and cradling, shattered worlds. I don't know what Shattered World is. Dragon Pits and Dragon Keepers. I want to see what this is because this may or may not determine how our Storm Dragon playthrough will go. Because we're not going to start as a Targaryen, and we're not going to start in a Targaryen-held title or territory. Instead, we will be starting off somewhere in the Stormlands. Both of my choices are either in Morningside, on the island of Morningside, just west of the Isle of Tarth, or in this place called Drake's Death, Drake's Grave, or something like that, somewhere on like the northern coast, which was recommended by another community member. But I want to see if like, yeah, see, all about dragon pits. Is having a dragon pit necessary for being a dragon rider or a dragon lord? With the presence of dragons in the world, there will be those who are envious and fearful of them. Any dragon rider will doubtlessly want to protect their most precious possession from those with ill intentions. See, so that makes me think that if another lord has a dragon in their dragon pit, can I send an assassin to go and kill it in order to, destabilize their military and to give myself a leg up over them, because that is fucking interesting. Question then, how do you protect your dragons from these wrongdoers? Dragon pits are a building returning to Crusader Kings to answer this very question. For explanatory purposes, dragon pits are delineated into two types, historical and generic. Excuse me. Historical dragon pits are those that appear in canon, for example, the King's Landing Dragon Pit and the Dragon Mont. And then generic dragon pits are those that the player or AI can build. In-game, these are called dragon pens. Gameplay-wise, both type of dragon pits function. There we go. Wow. Hello? What the fuck? The dyslexia. Gameplay-wise, both types of dragon pits function as a stable for dragons. Got it. Yeah. The building acts as a dragon pit, which allows the county holder to store dragons. However, the dragons interned within will suffer health and growth penalties. What? That's nutsos. Okay. Yeah, will suffer health and growth penalties. Brother. Yeah, taxes -5 or -0.5. Holy shit. That's pretty interesting. That is very interesting. See, so there's going to be a plus and a minus to having dragons, obviously. That's pretty fucking cool, man. That is pretty fucking cool. I did not consider that. Dragon pits provide security for dragons that are locked within. Characters who lack access to the dragon pit will find it difficult or even impossible to interact with the dragons locked within. So if I'm not the Lord of King's Landing, obviously I cannot interact with the dragons that are in the dragon pit of King's Landing. What is this picture showing us? Vedagon in the dragon pit of King's Landing. Yeah, tame dragon. Vedagon. This dragon is not in a building limited to close family members of its holder. You will attempt to tame Vedagon. Interesting, yeah. So, taming a dragon before bonding is extremely risky. So, it is within our best interest to bond with a dragon before we attempt to tame it. That is interesting. I'm gonna lock that up in the old vault for when we start playing. This is one incentive earned by constructing these buildings. You will control who can access your dragons and attempt to tame them. With the ability to limit the access to dragons, a character may deem it fruitful to try and capture a wild dragon and lock them in a dragon pit. Yeah. Tyriax, a wild dragon. Trapping a wild dragon. Tyriax is savage and likely to fiercely resist any attempt to confine him. He will not go peacefully into the dragon pit. Leaving Tyriax beneath the open skies, Tristan Marsh has pledged their sword. My lord Tristan Marsh. Sky risks his feral terror falling upon the small folk. It is essential for the prosperity of my people and lands that the right person for the job quickly coordinates the effort to imprison the beast far away from those who would harm. The Dragon Keepers, as led by Balman, are best suited for this task. I will lead the effort myself, likely leading to our character's death. My leal captain, Lord Aeron, should do it. That's interesting. Or actually, this is too dangerous. I'm not going to fucking do this at all. That is interesting. Okay. This is a very risky gamble, but if it pays off, any character with access to the Dragon Pit will receive buffs to the taming and bonding process when trying to tame the encaged wild dragon. Wild dragons aren't the only type of dragon that can be locked in a dragon pit. Owned and tamed dragons could also be locked within a dragon pit using a similar button found on the portraits. Okay, so Glimmer's out flying around the Iron Throne. Send this dragon to the dragon pit. Cool. So if the dragon has been bonded with and tamed, then we can command it from its portrait. That's interesting. Once a dragon is locked in a dragon pit building, you can view it in a list located in the province view, along with any other dragons that happen to be locked within the same pit. I see. View dragons in this dragon pit. That's what this is. This little symbol right here. It's also right next to the rename your holding button. Viewing dragons. Holy shit. There's so many dragons in this dragon pit that he's got a scroll down bar. Oh, look, it's Eric Cargill. That's so crazy. RIP to a fucking legend, brother. That's crazy. Are they playing as Aegon right now? That's interesting. As like maybe an older Aegon with like a beard and shit. Interesting. While locking dragons in a dragon pit provides security and stability, there is a major downside. It was noted that none of the pit dragons ever reached the size of their ancestors. The maesters say it was because of the walls around them and the great dome above their heads. Barristan Selmy to Daenerys. As Barristan the Bold once explained to Daenerys, when the Targaryens began locking their dragons in the King's Landing dragon pit, their growth became stunted. This negative effect is reflected in the dragon pit mechanic for CK3 Aegon. Dragons locked in a dragon pit will suffer a health and size growth penalty compared to their counterparts that are not locked away. A player will have to consider this effect when choosing to lock their dragons away. In the dragon pit. This dragon is kept in a dragon pit while undeniably safer than out in nature, both for the dragon and everyone else. Dragons were not made for captivity. That's interesting. So that makes me wonder, what am I gonna do when I have my dragon? And I say when, not if, because when we start playing as Lord Tymerion Maelorros, we will be adding in, because I read about this mechanic before, there is in fact a Dragon Lord trait. Same thing with like the bastard trait or the heterochromia trait or whatever, the house customizer trait. Whenever you play into the game, once you load into the game with your custom character with these traits, it'll immediately pop up like an interaction window that lets you design your dragon, essentially. And I will most definitely be starting off with a dragon as our Storm Dragon series. That, however, makes me worried because we already created Tymerion Maelorros with a full 400 point set for his customization points. Now, we could just keep the character himself and then just add the Dragon Lord trait and just get a dragon and suffer the consequences of not being able to get achievements or whatever. As if I'm a fucking achievement hunter. Come on, guys. I'm a filthy fucking casual. Let's be for real. But anyway, that is interesting. That is interesting. Though a player should be wary if they want to free a dragon from their pit, even that is not free from consequence. A dragon roaming the wilds. Vadagon has recently been released from the King's Landing dragon pit and now freely roams the surrounding wilds. Occasionally coming into sight of villages and towns, so far Vadagon has only stolen a fisherman's catch, though the small folk are apprehensive at what the dragon may do next. Surely they need not worry. See, that is interesting. So I'm thinking back to the character build that we did for Tymerion Maelorros. And Tymerion is a ruthless, ambitious, wrathful, like, ex-pirate of a bastard who conquered such and such land in the Stormlands, and rather than executing the current lords of said lands, he ransomed them off to the Lord Paramount and was like, hey, I'm sorry I did this, but I will let them go, and in return, you grant me lordship of these lands. You need somebody strong to hold these lands in your name to defend the people of the Stormlands. And, you know, obviously these men are not strong enough to cut it if they were taken down by just mere pirates. And obviously that roleplay may change a bit, especially once we have a dragon, because then it'll be like, oh, like, we have a dragon, kick these losers out of their lands and install me as the new lord of this county, duchy, etc., and I will pledge myself and my dragon and my bloodline to you as a minor vassal. And I, you know, the Stormlands and House Baratheon will have now for themselves a loyal Dragon Lord under their banner. And at that point, Tymerion Maelorros is already just this ruthless bastard, so he's not going to lock up his dragon. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be safer for it, but, like, we'll probably have the dragon pen built and then lock them away if there's ever an incident that requires us to do so. Like, maybe they did irreparable damage and now there's like a threat to us as like the House of Maelorros, or there's a threat to the dragon, whatever may happen, and so then we'll put the dragon in the pen and shit like that. But once we start having clutches and like birthing extra dragons and shit, let them all fly free, bro. I don't give a rat's ass. Like, what are y'all gonna fucking do? Even if you managed by slim chance to kill one of my dragons. I've got 4 fucking more, brother. Like, I'm coming straight to your house, and I'm Dracarison all over your carpet, motherfucker. Like, let's be fucking for real. But anyway, this is fun. I'm sorry I haven't actually played anything, but god damn it, guys. Like, this dragon update, I'm so fucking excited. I have deleted every fucking game. I deleted Destiny. I haven't deleted what's it called? Baldur's Gate, because I'm still kind of playing that on my own time. Tons of fun, by the way. I have deleted Shadow of War because it's like 100 plus gigabytes, and I want as much room as I can for this update to be able to run the games as smoothly as possible and be able to record a series for you guys whenever it drops. So I am very, very excited. You never play CK when you stream? Yeah, sorry. No. It's funny to me because, like, even during our most like successful stream when we were building House Meloros, once we started playing, everybody left. Nobody stopped to actually watch. You know what I'm saying? We came from like 40 something to like 12 viewers, you know, but all of our viewers, our highest amount of viewers came when we were customizing and doing builds and shit. And you know, that just kind of solidifies my delusions that you guys enjoy just creating shit. And I feel like everybody does. Everybody enjoys creating shit. And especially when we're doing it together as a community. And man, again, like, y'all cooked. Y'all absolutely fucking cooked with Timerian Meloros. Like, we have essentially built like a brand new dynasty. And I cannot wait to actually get my hands on and to play. It's going to be fun. So I apologize not. I do apologize. But I don't feel bad about it, you know? Wondering if the dragon stays with your dynasty upon succession. Excuse me. I hope multiple people can bond with a dragon like a father lets the heir bond with his dragon. Yeah, I wonder too. And as far as the new DLCs, I don't intend on getting them. Not yet. Like, my biggest thing, because I've never played Crusader Kings outside of the AGOT mod, with the exception of like the other, you know, like Elder Kings and Realms in Exile. You know what I'm saying? So I've never really played base Crusader Kings before. So I don't really give a shit, you know, unless they make the mod, you know, DLC compatible. I don't give a shit about that DLC, bro. I'm ready for this AGOT mod. I am ready for this dragon update. Like, I'm so excited, dude. JBD, I shall play the new DLC once all the mods update. I don't care how long it takes. Thank you. Yes, my man. Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, he absolutely knows what he's talking about. Like, and it's funny because I was telling my fiance this a while ago. I was telling her that I have essentially solidified myself as a Game of Thrones exclusive content creator. Like, I could probably do any number of things on this channel, and I'll never get the same, like, level of attention or level of growth or level of likes or views or appreciation from my community as if it was any number of Game of Thrones content, honestly. And I'm okay with that. I'm not bad by that statement, okay? Literally not at all. Isn't the next DLC like the old Rise to Power mod for CK2? Yes, it is. Absolutely it is. If they take after CK2, the dragon will become untamed and may stay in the county, but it can leave. That would be interesting. Hangout stream is best stream. I agree. This is a fun vibe. This is a pretty fun vibe. JBD, what are you doing in here, King Whore? Hell yeah, dude. Dude, the House Whore series. God damn, that was insane. You know what I really enjoyed? House Black River. Like, he did essentially what I was just explaining to y'all earlier. You know, like, he inserted himself. He created a new character based off of himself in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire and created his own story with it. Like, that's badass. You know, that's how I came up with the Orange Bull sigil of the Lord Commander. That's how I came up with the Orange Knight. That was my Game of Thrones dynasty. That was my Game of Thrones legacy. This was my self-insert into the universe. We were the Amber Bulls of House fuck, what did I call myself? I don't even remember. I don't think it matters anymore, like what my house was, because now I hold the title of Lord Commander and I'm a servant of the realm. I don't really have a house. I don't really give a shit about bloodlines. I don't have children in real life, so, the concept of my dynasty, succeeding me or my bloodline is not that interesting. But for me, it's more about like my values that I'm able to pass on to others. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did when I created, our Discord community, the Order of Amber Dawn, which is my Night's Watch equivalent, except I don't make you swear off women or, make it men exclusive, because there are some badass women out there. And, I adopted the title of Lord Commander because I thought it was badass. You know what I'm saying? But, his House Black River series, fucking beautiful. Absolutely fucking beautiful. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with, like, the House Amber thing. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Playing as the North is so boring, bro. Like, I can't build shit. I can't build anything. My money does not exist. I can't do anything in the North. Like, it's all about honor and oaths, and building things in the North is apparently a sin because we worship the trees. And I'm like, oh, it's so fucking boring and delusional, bro. Like, take me back to the Westerlands, because I'm tired of this shit, Grandpa. But anyway, sorry. I'm just being a hater, too. Yeah, I heard you're doing Stormwing. Absolutely. So, for those of y'all who don't know about our upcoming series, when we created our custom Westerosi Valyrian House of Dragonlords, we decided we were gonna take a step back from what the Targaryens were doing. Nothing about our dynasty, our house, our bloodline, anything like that has anything to do with dragons. We're not House Stormwing, Stormfire. We don't have a dragon sigil or a fire sigil, because we don't equate ourselves. We don't make ourselves seem like equals to the dragons, the way that the Targaryens, in the eyes of our custom character, has done so. Their vanity has gotten in the way, and they equate themselves to gods because of their dragons, when in reality, for our custom character, he kind of like bends the knee to the regality, the imperialistic, or not the imperialistic, but like the godliness of dragons. He bends the knee to the dragons, you know what I'm saying? He's more humble about it. He doesn't control the dragons. He doesn't call himself equal to dragons. He doesn't call himself a god because of the dragons. He is a humble servant of his dragon. His dragon came into his possession and has blessed him with the presence of a dragon, you know what I'm saying? And so, as such, naturally, Lord Timerian of House Maelorros is like, okay, well, I will build my house to be whatever it is that it is, and then my dragon is just kind of, the god that watches over us, essentially, And it's not so much like, oh, I have tamed this dragon is mine. No, this dragon has chosen me. I have been chosen, I have been blessed, and also kind of cursed with the responsibility of taking care of this dragon. This dragon isn't mine to command. This dragon isn't a tool to be used. This dragon is my god, and I will worship it, and I will take care of it, and in turn, it shall bless my house. And that's how he feels about it. So he doesn't have like a dragon sigil. He doesn't call himself House Stormwing or Stormfire or anything like that. His house motto doesn't have anything to do with dragons, because he has not allowed his vanity to equate the two with each other. He himself, as a mortal man, despite not being a Targaryen, has not like allowed that vanity to kind of infect his bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the role play of it, because there's nothing I can really do to make that a thing in the game. But yeah, that'd be cool. Corrupted Saintess, cool twist would be a Baratheon brother whom had a grudge against his family and Lannisters, backstabs them, marries Daenerys, claiming the Iron Throne as a distant relative. That would be interesting. I do like that idea. My only thing, though, when I think of the Baratheons, I don't think of backstabbers. Like, if I wanted to play as like a backstabber or whatever, like a almost like a House of Assassins, part of me would want to choose like a House of the North. Maybe even like a reclusive mountain, House of the Vale. I I mean, essentially, you could be whoever you want, wherever you want. I could also think of Dorne. I feel like Dorne with like the sand vipers and shit like that, or the sand snakes, whatever they call themselves. That would be really fucking cool too. Uh, the Valyrians burnt down half of Essos with thousands of dragons. I don't think they were very humble. No, exactly they weren't. But it wasn't all the Valyrians, because remember that in I guess it was, because I forget to myself that in Old Valyria, House Targaryen wasn't the only house of dragon riders. But they were the only ones to survive when they left. And then House Velaryon got their hands on dragons by marrying into the Targaryens. So that's pretty interesting. But that's also kind of the basis of the roleplay for our House Maelorros playthrough, because we came up with the name Maelorros because it has kind of like that, what's it called? Valyrian style like last name, you know? Without being like a direct carbon copy of like Targaryen or Velaryon, etc., etc. It's House Maelorros, and it kind of has like the vibe of like Maelstrom or Maelstrom, because where our sigil is like a white lightning bolt on a golden shield on a purple background. So that'd be pretty interesting. Dragon cult for the liberation of dragons. That'd be badass, dude. Wasn't the Targaryens the weakest of the Dragon Lords when Dany the Dreamer had her dragon dreams? That's how I remember it, but I don't know for sure. But I also think that's pretty interesting, because it allows for the concept of, like, what if a member or two of, like, any number of these supposed millions of people that lived in Old Valyria managed to escape the doom with a clutch of dragon eggs, or a whole dragon, or whatever. Because Essos is massive compared to Westeros, you know? At least, like, latitudinally, you know, latitude, long ways. Son of a bitch. Gotta head out. All the best. Thank you, my lord Grazo. I appreciate you, my friend. But yeah, that's pretty much how I remember it. He could be the second son or third, whom was despised because of his fancy for dragons, and his distant Targaryen blood lets him withstand hot weather without breaking a sweat, or less fire resistant. Sounds about right. Yeah, Emperor Orion of Valyria. Orion was one of the few dragon lords who survived the doom of Valyria. He proclaimed himself the first emperor of Valyria and raised forces from cohoric colonists. With his dragon and an army of 30,000 men, he marched to claim Valyria's remains, but none were ever seen again. See, exactly my point. And brings us back to the, yeah, look at that. Orion Belaris. Like, that name is very Valyrian. Belaris. Like, that's pretty badass. House Belaris. Yeah. Pretty badass, dude. But anyway, so, but it goes back to what I was saying, like, if this was never written down, if this was never a part of the lore, like, any one of us could have come up with a fucking name for the self-proclaimed ex-emperor of Old Valyria. He could have been fucking Emperor, Coburg. Emperor Coburg of House Gotha. Emperor, Fathid of House Kai. Like, you can come up with whatever the fuck you want. And it pisses me off that Hollywood and video game companies suck so bad at being able to do that. But anyway, so yes, going back to the dev diaries, Lord Tymerion of House Maelorros will in fact, for the most part, allow his dragon to go free, calling him back whenever the need arises. But for the most part, the dragon will be able to roam freely however he or she wants. Maelorros were just Valyrian corsairs and slave traders. Some of them were probably in the Summer Isles when it went kaboom. I agree. So it could be felt and almost certainly seen. The 14 fires erupting almost simultaneously could most definitely be seen from the Summer Isles. And so let's say instead of being like born a dragon lord in Valyria, he was most definitely just like a Valyrian corsair or a Valyrian, pirate, whatever have you. And after the doom, obviously Timerian takes his fleet of ships and he's like, fuck this, we're going to Westeros, let's go. And he like turns his shit westward and he fucking leaves. And then, well, no, because that still wouldn't work because we're not going to start at the Doom of Valyria. Because the next bookmark they're going to drop for us is actually the Rogue Prince, which is Daemon going to fight in the Stepstones. So, obviously it wouldn't be Timerian, it would be somebody else of House Maelorros. So, that's on me. But yes, so like whoever the Lord of House Maelorros was at the time, the Corsair, captain of his mighty fleet of pirates or whatever, he sees the Doom of Valyria going off in the background and he's like, fuck this shit, I'm out, turns that shit westward and then flees, and then a couple years or decades or generations down the line or whatever, or even just on the way, like while sailing west, this fucking dragon flies overhead and like goes with him, and he manages to tame it because of his Valyrian blood. And now we're X amount of generations down the line with Lord Timerian of House Maelorros, and he either has the same dragon or has a descendant of said dragon, and or whatever. Maybe he finds a dragon egg in his travels and it manages to hatch under his care and he manages to bond with it, grow it, etc. Who knows? The roleplay is there. That is something that we need to figure out, because I would love to have like a little roleplay moment where I'm able to introduce our build and our character and the background for said character at the very beginning of the series when it starts. So something we'll definitely have to figure out. But the questions are there. Like, y'all are asking the right questions, because now it's making me rethink the build. Not so much the whole build, but it's making me rethink the parts of the roleplay that I hadn't thought of in the first place. So thank you guys. That's what I love about community builds, y'all. Like, y'all are really fucking cool. Y'all are really creative, and I love it. Can you imagine when landless play arrives, starting as a nobody, traveling across Westeros, tracking and possibly taming a dragon before carving a kingdom and name for yourself? That would be so badass, dude. And I wanted to do something like that for Realm of Thrones before the game broke. Which is weird because the update came out for the Realm of Thrones mod, and I downloaded the update, and for whatever reason it doesn't pop up in my mods section when I open the game launcher, so I don't know. I guess for the time being, all our Bannerlord content is going to be Blood and Smoke, just gunpowder mod, basically. But dude, that'd be so badass. Imagine even the opposite side of that same coin, unlanded character, a roaming knight whose sole purpose is to go out and murder as many dragons as he can. Be pretty cool. The landless play is going to be so crazy. The Century of Blood bookmark. Yeah, that'd be cool. What about the Children of the Forest brought a character from the past to current present of the roleplay and is finding what happened centuries later? They would be sought after for their knowledge. I like that idea. That's pretty cool. The only issue with that is, like, mechanics wise in the game, we can roleplay it all we want, but how do we get lords and ladies to actively like pursue the character for their knowledge? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would that do? Like, how do we make them suddenly our allies or our friends just because, like, they gained some ancient wisdom or knowledge from us and they liked it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So unfortunately, as well as all these grand ideas and creative roleplay segments are, they're still pretty limited to the actual game mechanics itself, which is fine, honestly. The game still offers a lot in the way of roleplay, so we will be keeping a mind or eye open out for all that as well. The Dragon Pen, King's Landing, we already know about that. The Dragon Mont. For gameplay purposes, the Dragon Mont acts as a special natural dragon pit for the ruler of Dragonstone. The Dragon Mont functions as other dragon pits do, but it comes with the bonus that dragons locked within do not suffer as the dragons locked in artificial pits. Aha! Interesting. So it would be in our best interest, yeah, to try and conquer Dragonstone for the sake of the Dragon Mont. Yeah, the laws of the Dragon Pit. Earlier in this dev diary, you may have seen me mention that characters that have their own dragon pits may control who has access to the dragons locked within. This is accomplished through a custom set of laws in which a character can determine exactly who has access to the dragons within. Perhaps you want your entire dynasty to have access to your dragons. Or perhaps you wisely want to keep it within your close family. Or perhaps you are truly mad and open the dragon doors to everybody and anybody. The option is yours. Oh, shit. Interesting. Yeah, Crown Authority. Dragon Pit access laws. Close family only. Yeah, I would definitely say that. I wouldn't even want people in my house to have access to these dragons. Like, if I married off one of my sons to such and such, you know, house, and then his son becomes the new lord of the Riverlands, I don't want him to be able to come over and access my dragons. It's like, you may be my grandson, but like, it doesn't mean shit for you, bud. Like, unless you're my son and heir, you know what I'm saying? And so it would most definitely be close family only, I think, in my opinion. Alright, my phone's been... I smacked the shit out of my camera, sorry. But my phone's been blowing up for a minute, so I'm going to check my phone. And see who's texting me. Oh, nobody. That's fine. Nice. We do have some new Discord members, so for those of y'all who are a part of our Discord community, go and let them know that they are welcome. Tell them I said hi. Sorry, getting tired. But anyway, this is going to be pretty fun. So, Dragon Keepers. To ascertain there would be no repetition of Princess Araya's escape on Balerion, the king decreed that all dragons should be guarded night and day, regardless of where they are layered. A new order of guards was created for this purpose, the Dragon Keepers, 77 strong and clad in suits of gleaming black armor, their helms crested by a row of dragon scales that continued diminishing down their backs. No dragon pit would be secure without its guardians. Every dragon pit in CK3 AGOT comes with an order of dragon keepers that act as the building's guardians. The dragon keepers are represented through a new court position called the head dragon keeper. Oh, that is badass. So, alternative gameplay style for the Landless DLC being the Dragon Keeper of some great Targaryen house. Head Dragon Keeper, Herald, aptitude is average. Bond with Dragon Scheme Power plus 5%. Deepen bond with your Dragon Scheme Power plus 2%. Interesting. Unlocks the Teach Dragon Lore interaction. That is interesting. That's pretty fucking cool, man. The Head Dragon Keeper provides bonuses to their employer depending on their aptitude. For example, Head Dragon Keepers with higher aptitudes will have a higher success rate for capturing wild dragons, or they may also provide greater buffs to the taming and bonding process. The aptitude of Head Dragon Keepers is controlled by a new Royal Court amenity, Dragon Pit Funding. The more money you invest into this amenity, the better your Dragon Pit and Dragon Keeper order will fare. That is fucking interesting, because I had no idea about this going into preparing myself for this build. So now I know we're gonna need money. It's not gonna be enough for us to just be like martial focus, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to stack our council with some pretty badass stewardship people, or even like training our sons and daughters to be badass stewardship educated people within our court. Yeah. The more money you invest into this amenity, the better your Dragon Pit and Dragon Order will fare. Players who do not own the Royal Court DLC will not be excluded from this mechanic. Their head Dragon Keepers will be generated randomly instead. Got it. Ah, so it's a Royal Court thing. I see. So if I start off as like a minor fucking lord, it's not going to matter for me. Yeah, high Dragon Pit funding. So it's part of like a court thing. So I wonder... Well, they said it won't be... Yeah. They won't be excluded if they don't have a Royal Court DLC. Yeah, their head Dragon Keepers will be generated randomly instead. So until I have a Royal Court for myself, like if I'm starting off in a minor county and I have a dragon and I have a Dragon Pit, but I don't have access to a Royal Court in order to change my Dragon Pit funding, then my Dragon Keeper, my head Dragon Keeper will be randomly generated. Got it. That is interesting to know. See, because I haven't read all of these dev diaries before. So that's pretty interesting. The Dragon Pit filler and the flavor. As a final note on this dev diary, let's briefly discuss the filler and flavor events associated. Holy fuck, the lisp is coming out so bad today, guys. Others and myself on the team have written a number of filler and flavor events that may fire for Dragon Pit owners. Depending on the funding given to one's Dragon Pit, they may find different levels of quality in their events. For those skimping on funding for their Dragon Pits, they may find that their Dragon Keepers are underfunded and begging for resources more often. Or perhaps they may find that their dragons grow unhealthy due to a lack of food. For those who are financially responsible with their Dragon Pits, they may find that their Dragon Keepers keep the dragons locked within with not only reverence but passion as well. And that passion may rub off on others. Financially responsible, they may find that they're Dragon Keepers. Okay. Dragon Keepers hear rumbles of hunger. Herald reports that the food stock of your Dragon Pit is running low. They are close to rationing food. My lord, we live to serve your dragons. The finest feed animals, of course, are sanctioned to their priorities first. You see, a healthy dragon's appetite can put our monthly budget under serious strain. His gaze drifts to the floor of an expression of shame. We need assistance procuring more for our order to eat, else we faced implementing strict rations. Interesting. Okay. A nickname for my dragon. Harold reports that the Dragon Keepers have become so familiar with Neltharion that they have nicknamed it. We have begun calling him the Song Seeker, my lord, a fitting appellation for such a magnificent creature. Nice. That's, yeah, Neltharion the Song Seeker. That's pretty badass. You know what that makes me think of? That means that, Sheep Stealer and the Cannibal probably have proper Valyrian names as well. Or Valyrian names. That's pretty interesting. A young visitor discovered in the Dragon Pit. Harold reports that Aenys snuck into the Dragon Pit. He was found safe and sound without incident, but expressed a more than healthy curiosity in the dragons. Many of the Dragon Keepers doted on the child, answering his questions. The Order has already made the necessary changes to security, preventing any further ambitious young dragon riders from gaining access. But young Aenys only seems more fascinated by the experience. Nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you for reading. You're very welcome. You know what? Thank you, guys. Yeah, man, like Uber and a couple of these other devs have definitely been really nice as far as like chit-chatting with us through Discord. So that's pretty interesting. But that one was a cool one. A lot of those mechanics I had no idea was even a thing. So being able to go back and read that and get the actual knowledge that will be necessary for this playthrough is pretty cool. A Rogue Tale. Yeah, this one's the brand new bookmark coming with the Dragon update this summer. Closer to Gods Than Men. We're jumping straight back into the mechanical side of the update. Yeah. Yeah, bringing the warfare side of the update to life. Cool. So let's read briefly about what the warfare is like. Warfare and its troubles are well documented. This is the hardest of our features to program and stumped us for several months. CK3 code severely limits our ability to interact with the warfare system, so much so that the modding co-op server we have has a command to dispel hopes and dreams. Oh no, we can't damage an army, we can't destroy an army, we can't add more troops to an existing army, we can't add supply to an army directly, we can't directly apply attrition to an army, we can't actually raise or disband an army, we can't forcefully win or lose a battle, win and lose effects are broken. Thinking of working with warfare armies, you probably can't. That's so sad. Yeah, warfare modding. Oh, brother, that's so sad. Warfare's issues, especially the prompt above, remain true and accurate. To wit, I want to add a disclaimer before we get deep into what will be a very nitty-gritty mechanics dev diary. We have implemented circumventions of these systems within what was possible in CK3. Sacrifices on gameplay had to be made because of the above restrictions and for performance reasons. Jesus fuck. While this circumstance is not the ideal implementation, it is what we have been able to do with the available tools. What didn't work? Two popular methods were designed while we've been working on this problem, and I want to discuss why we did not pursue them. The first of these are dragons such as Men-at-Arms, used in the AGOT bookmarked submod, developed by our very own team member Truth. While this has some great benefits, the simplicity of interacting with a battle, they had several drawbacks. While obviously they were not characters we could, in theory, make a new MAA, Men-at-Arms, whenever a dragon is born, as if they were paired. The problem, however, is that we would have no way to destroy them then when the dragon died. In addition to this difficulty of MAA stack made this method unfeasible. Okay. So essentially, they're trying to find a way to have dragons interact with armies and characters on like a combat and warfare scale. That's interesting. That is interesting. And the first method they had was to create a man-at-arms regiment whenever you gained a dragon. And obviously, I feel like the stats would be different depending upon the actual stats of the dragon. You know what I'm saying? If it's a large dragon, it would be a large men-at-arms regiment. And then if it was like a strong or fearsome dragon, obviously the stats would be different, you know? Interesting. The second method would have been dragons as artifacts, like the AGOT Dragons of Valyria mod. I've played with that one. That was our Bastard Dragon series, however short it was. While this has some intriguing benefits, such as character-specific buffs, it always felt very finicky to us. I used up an artifact slot, which doesn't make sense and had no real character. These artifacts were in essence placeholders for all the same benefits the character could provide if it existed, and the mapping could be done comprehensively. That issue truly ties us to our core design philosophy. As Uber has repeatedly spoken on, this team's core vision for dragons was always having dragons be real characters in the world. As such, we needed to look at the ways that characters can interact with armies and which of those we could interfere with. Fundamentally, these exist in two ways, as knights and as commanders. The question was then, where does a dragon sit? Trivially, they should not be commanders, but perhaps they could be powerful knights. Unfortunately, the game caps prowess at 100 no matter how high you put it. While 100 is undoubtedly high, it's only about 2.5 times more, I assume is what they were trying to say, of Arthur Dane's. While he was a terrific swordsman, Balerion was definitely worth more than 3 of him, which is also why we separated dragon combat effectiveness as its own stat. Nice. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, Caraxes has 90 prowess down here. That's interesting. The next thought, and what we ended up using, was character modifiers. If you had a dragon, your character would get a modifier. However, the ones we were trying applied to all of our... However, the ones we were trying applied to all of your armies. That meant that if you had 2 armies in separate areas, your dragon would buff them both. In addition, not all dragon riders actually rode with their armies, such as Rhaenyra in the dance. Furthermore, how would we reflect dragon rider courtiers helping? Or worse, all of these at the same time? We faced these problems, and now I'll finally get on with it and start telling about our solution. The Dragon Warfare Engine. After much trial and error, the one thing we could interact with that allowed for an army-specific, character-specific buff was a battle advantage. For those of you who don't know, battle advantage confers a plus 5% damage bonus to your army for every point above your opponents. Interesting. Battle advantage for every point. Points of what? Okay. So it's almost like A battle roll? Yeah, advantage from commander rolls. Got it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Battles often start with one side having a higher advantage based on terrain and martial skill and commander traits of the commander. Got it. Yeah, so advantage points, basically. Because both armies, based off of martial skill, terrain, man-at-arms counter, and commander traits, will have like an advantage score. But whoever has the higher advantage score, they will now get a plus 5% damage bonus to your army for every advantage point that you have more than the other army. So if I have 5 more points than my enemy army, my plus 5% damage gives me a plus 25% damage bonus to my army. Got it. It's the big number in the center of a battle screen with the net difference being the number of 5% buffs on one side is getting. There is an example of how an equal advantage is calculated to illustrate. No side has the advantage. Got it. That's what this is. This is the advantage. Because they said it was in the middle of the screen. Yes? Unless I'm wrong. Anyway. During each battle phase, commanders roll to determine an additional battle advantage. Our solution was, therefore, to apply a seriously large battle roll floor and ceiling increase to give a flat bonus to a commander throughout the battle. Holy shit. Yeah, terrifying dragon army support. This commander's army is being supported by a terrifying dragon. Such a beast will black out the sun when it takes flight and will lay waste to armies itself if necessary. Minimum battle roll plus 150. Maximum battle roll plus 150. Enemy fatal casualties plus 40%. That is fucking insane. Oh my god. That is so fucking cool, dude. That is actually so cool. This can lead to smaller armies with dragons acting as if they were forces well beyond their size. For illustration, here's an example with Caraxes. Hello? I was like, give me the photo. So 382 in this army versus 585. Advantage is 294 in your favor. Your damage is... Holy shit. Is increased by 588%. Holy fuck. Battle roll plus 302. Battle roll plus 5. That's fucking insane. Holy shit. 302 to 5. God damn. I wonder if you can Harrenhal a castle. I feel like they're going to talk about that in this one. To make this as seamless as possible, I created what I call the Dragon Warfare Engine. Essentially a running check over a dragon to see who it should give this modifier to at any given time. Dragons can be knights in our system, and their riders can be commanders or knights themselves. Thus, the dragon will continually check where it and its rider are and apply the buff to their commander or its rider's commander. This way, you can still use your dragon as that extremely powerful knight, while enabling it to buff the army's strength. Of course, a dragon cannot act without its rider, so any dragon acting as a knight will pull their rider into one of these several combat events. Got it. The risks of bravery. I'm flying high above the clouds of Downgrave, prepared to conduct a hammer and anvil strike against the enemy once they charge. When I look down and see that Master Prendos has already drawn his forces forward. Most surprisingly of all, he is leading their wedge charge himself. While doubtlessly brave, I can't help but think such a distance from his troops is unwise. A bold move for someone in tail-hitting distance. You swoop down on Caraxes and swipe Prendos right off his horse. Will happen. Prendos is killed by Caraxes. That would be disrespectful to such bravery. See, but now seeing that opens up so many more roleplay opportunities for character designs. Because obviously, for Timerian of House Meloros, he would choose the top option. He would absolutely like, oh man, he's really brave, you know, riding out there. Let's go make him suffer for it and go and fuck his ass up. But imagine building a Dragon Knight character whose sole purpose is to like spread chivalry to utilize the dragons as like more of a tool of like betterment. You know, they are fire made flesh. They are closer to gods than anything on this earth, and they have the ability of great destruction, sure, but imagine how much good somebody can cause with a dragon at their disposal. So imagine like this happens, and then such like chivalrous and honorable knight is like, no, that would be disrespectful to such bravery. My dragon and I are here to oversee the battle, not so much to murder millions and, you know, etc., etc. That probably doesn't really work out roleplay wise, but still, the roleplay potential is definitely there. Dragon and battle camera still under work. Got it. Yeah, dragon in battle camera. Got it. Furthermore, these obviously cannot be in two places simultaneously. As such, a rider trying to act as a commander in an army separate from their dragon will be pulled away from their independent army. Return to dragon. You have left the army in blood cover and return to your dragon in bloodstone. Got it. I cannot tell you what a nightmare all of these different cases, scopes, and their interactions were to code, but the result is an intelligent application of buffs to the commander of a dragon / its rider, reflecting the different combat effectiveness of dragons. By way of example, here's the buff that Sea Smoke gives. Moderate dragon's army support. This commander's army is being supported by a dragon. Yeah. It will support its rider's charge, allowing for targeted destruction of the enemy line. Battle roll is only plus 50. Well, here's the buff that Vagar gives. This commander's army is superfluous next to the dragon supporting it. For those of you who don't know, superfluous is basically a fancy word for like irrelevant or like not necessary. So the commander's army is almost entirely unnecessary compared to the dragon that they have riding into battle. Such a beast has not been since the Doom, and that is what it brings to all foes. Max battle roll plus 200, enemy fatal casualties plus 50%. Out of every casualty on the battlefield, or out of every 2 casualties on the battlefield, 1 of them will be fatal. That's fucking insane. The eagle-eyed among you will notice another dragon buff present there. This is because, of course, multiple dragons can be in the same army. One benefit of this approach is that these modifiers can natively stack. There is nothing stopping you from getting a plus 2,000 battle advantage with 10 godly dragons. Another useful fact of this system is that because the advantage is relative, if the other side also has a dragon, their relative impacts are already calculated for us. Now, I want to be upfront that the system has 3 deficiencies. Number 1. These buff and debuff application calculations have minor delays for performance reasons. You may see them out of sync for a few ticks if you change commanders frequently, or if your commander dies. This is only relevant in fringe cases. It is in sync 99% of the time, and 1 or 2 ticks should right it if it is not. Cool. Austin, I'm so sorry. Low-key, probably not. I'm so sorry. Just because I have to record episode 2 of our Bannerlord musket mod, gunpowder mod playthrough for tomorrow. And I don't have a whole lot of time to do it already. I just wanted to stream because I missed you guys, and I miss live streaming for y'all. And obviously you guys did too, so I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I do apologize. It was not my intention to clickbait you guys, for sure. But, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I finished my House Embermane series, and now I don't want to touch CK3 AGOT again until the dragons come out. Like, and I hate that I'm getting myself so worked up over it, but I'm so fucking excited for these dragons, man. So, and, I don't know, I would prefer if you guys created new characters. As much as I love the characters you have created for us, those were characters intended for our Bastard Wolf playthrough. And that playthrough will be pushed so that we can focus more on the Dragon update when it comes out. So, pretty please, don't be mad. Pretty please don't unsubscribe or leave our community, because I do love and appreciate all of you. But, you know, one thing that I'll always be upfront with is that life kind of gets in the way. As it is, like, I cannot play Realm of Thrones for whatever fucking reason. So unfortunately, our Bannerlord content is kind of in the dirt right now. And you know, obviously I'm still working 50 plus hours a week at my day job, so it doesn't really leave a whole lot of time to get this shit figured out, on top of trying to stay, you know, up to date with like live streams, on top of making sure my mods are up to date. And it's a lot. It is a lot. And obviously I would love to do a live stream where I just create y'all's custom characters, but it's also a lot of work. It is a lot of work. Like, I will admit that to you guys. It's not that I don't want to do it, and it's not that I don't enjoy doing it. It's just more like I have to be more deliberate with how I spend my time. You know, like chilling out here and chit-chatting with you guys and reading the dev diaries doesn't take a whole lot of work. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. So I could literally do this for hours. As a matter of fact, it's been about 2 hours. Whereas actively reading chat and then translating, you know, builds and actively trying to play the game while I'm building these characters, that takes a lot more effort than maybe it looks like from the perspective of a viewer. But like, for me, like I've had the past 3 days off that I needed to take for actually resting, because I'm fucking exhausted, guys. But I do go back to work again starting tomorrow. I have 3 mid shifts, so that's 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, and then Monday, Tuesday, I have 2 opening shifts, which are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I mean, they're only 10-hour shifts. I know people work much harder shifts, much harder jobs, but that's a lot for me, on top of the fact that I'm still trying to do this for you guys. So I do hope you'll forgive me for taking some time to get my life together. And you know, the kind of decreased rate of uploads, it hasn't hurt us as far as like our content goes, like literally at all. I want y'all to know this. I'm not hurting for views, I'm not hurting for content, and you guys definitely have not made me hurt at all. I forgot to mention this, but literally last month I gained over 1,000 subscribers. It was like 1,300. We just hit fucking 6,000 subs like 2 days ago, and now we're at 6,300. Like, that's fucking insane to me. Like, y'all did that, you know? I may be the content creator, but that doesn't mean shit. Like, we've already just had this full-blown discussion about how people who create shit are not shit. They're not creating shit that people want to see. Like, I could create all the live long day and think, oh, I'm so fucking creative, I'm amazing, and then nobody watches it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But this number means something to me, and you guys did that. Like, you guys did that. You know, so I do appreciate what y'all do for me, and I do appreciate all the love and support and the community. I mean, look at all these little green tick marks, bro. Like, be fucking for real. Y'all did that. And I want you to feel like I appreciate it. Like, it's not just me saying it and blowing smoke up your ass. But, you know, there are just certain levels of content that I don't have the energy to contend with, you know? So I do apologize. It really wasn't my intention to clickbait you guys or whatever, if that's how you're feeling. But no, unfortunately, we probably will not get to any actual gameplay today. I would like to continue reading these dev diaries just because I went down the rabbit hole, man. Like, I am very excited for this Dragon update, so I do apologize. I am gonna read chat real quick. I know you guys have been going. Hello, so 10 dragons make you unbeatable, basically. You're gonna tell us all royal followers about the opportunity, though? Yes, just not now. I'm not allowed to. Sorry. So the opportunity, let me tell y'all, when the opportunity like hit my screen, the way I was sitting here, I was making content, and the way I was like I think I got it caught on camera as I was recording something, but I was like, the way I was, and I jumped up, I was like, oh my god. The way I immediately called my fiance to let her know what was going on, like, it's amazing. And I feel like it's not really that big of a deal, but it's a big deal for me. Like, it's not something I ever imagined happening for myself, and it's certainly not something I ever actively strived for, but this is also like a first time for it happening to me. And I'm just like, brother, that's fucking amazing. Like, for starters, hitting fucking 5,000 subs was insane, and then hitting 1,000 subs less than a month later is fucking insane. So you guys are breaking records for our channel for fucking sure. But anyway, once I'm allowed to, I will tell you all about the opportunity. 100% I will. Boo, clickbait. I know, I'm sorry, Duke. I'm so sorry. Every stream so far has been great. Don't worry. I appreciate that. Thank you. We've missed you too. I'm still having fun here. Fuck yeah, dog. See, that's the point. That's what I like. I'm unsubscribing and leaving the Discord. I don't watch clickbaiters. Duke, shut the fuck up. Shut up. How dare you defy your Lord Commander. I need to stop watching and playing. I turn away for a minute and the king goes to war with the Night's Watch to imprison his bastard. Jesus Christ. Look up House Connington's words. It's so fucking stupid. I actually want to know now. I'm actually curious. Alright, houses near me. Jesus. Connington. Words. House Connington. It doesn't say. John Connington. Their motto is unknown, but their traditional battle cry is a griffin, a griffin. Okay. Is that it? Was that that's not like judgmental, is that it? No, I was asking, like, was that the words you wanted us to see? JBD, 2 a.m. for me. I love listening in on these streams. I'm doing bits and odds. Nice. As I'm doing bits and odds. Yeah, I agree. I kind of neglected, live streaming for the longest time, especially when I started making content for YouTube, because I feel like I didn't have the mentality of being a viewer. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of you guys, because of all the love and support I've gotten from live streaming recently, I've definitely become more of a viewer. I've become more of an appreciative viewer as well. A lot of the content I used to watch on YouTube was very much just like series of shit that I wanted to see or one-shot videos that I thought were interesting. But now I find myself actively being a part of like other people's communities, and not even like Game of Thrones related. Like I for one, I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding this particular person, but I enjoy watching the Shane Dawson podcast on like a bi-weekly basis. It's not every installment that I watch, but there are certain ones where I'm like, that's interesting. They kind of got me. And I watched one last night with the Queen, my fiance, and she and they did, I forgot what they did, but they did something that was like interesting to me, and it's not something that I would normally find interesting. It's not something that I would go out and seek out and be like, yes, I want to watch this. But it's kind of something that was just on, and I was like, fuck yeah, like that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. And I kind of surprised myself, but I neglected being a live streamer for a while because I just didn't appreciate what it meant, like, for the community. Like, we get more views and we get more likes and we get more clicks and subs from our video uploads, sure, but like this FaceTime, this one-on-one time with our community is also very important to me. So, and even if you're just chilling and it's like in the background, I keep pointing off screen, but my TV is like over there. So when I'm making content, sometimes I'll have like Grayzo or Soul Tomato or even JBD's like videos just play all. That way they can just get smash fucking views and like, 100% viewership on their videos. I mean, don't get me wrong, I watch their shit, but like, I'll go back and I'll like play a full playlist just so they get like extra views. You know what I'm saying? Whoops, I scrolled too much and now I lost my place in chat. Yeah, here we go. Okay. We could always be in a call in Discord so you don't have to keep looking at chat for our input on the character that you're creating. That's true. I do like that idea as well. I just hope you don't pull a Surreal and stop uploading. Surreal? For real? He stopped? Like, did he stop altogether? Is he like on vacation or something? Cause I liked fuck, I forgot his full YouTube handle. It's Surreal Beliefs, right? When was his last upload? That's so sad. Come here, you bastard. Where'd you go? Videos. 5 months ago? Aw, man. Where did he go? That's so sad. Oh, look. Interesting. Baldur's Gate. Man, that's sad to hear. I didn't realize. Duke, I fucking love Surreal Beliefs. I got a character in one of his series, and he died the episode he was introduced in. That's crazy. It's sad he stopped uploading. JBD with the side eyes. What does that mean, JBD? You've got the inside scoop, or what? Your channel is great. We love what you do. Aw, thanks, man. Damn, Austin, that's just sad. What character was it? I enjoy the lives. It is enjoyable. Nice. Augustine Duisdedit? Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Yeah, it's just such a weird thing. We got Hear Our Roar, Ours is the Fury, Winter is Coming, and then a Griffin. Hi, do you know the Dragon update is going to be... I do know that the Dragon update is going to be released in 15 days. I'm actually very excited. This is going to be really fucking cool. Duke, I think it was the Kingdom of Heaven series. Oh, that was fun. I watched that movie recently. It was pretty good. I did enjoy that. It's going to be a long 15 days. It sure is, bud. He became a game dev and stopped uploading after already having longer and longer spaces between videos. Yeah, that's kind of sad. I will say one of the content creators that has inspired me a lot, definitely Jacksepticeye, mostly because he is, without even trying, almost like a very genuine embodiment of like kindness, compassion, and chivalry. When I think of like how a knight should act in modern day, I think of Jacksepticeye. Like he is very selfless, and he's, you know, goofy and cringy, and he cusses like a sailor or whatever. But like he very much like, I feel like if me and Jacksepticeye were friends or even like acquaintances, if I was suddenly homeless, he'd be like, bro, come and crash on my couch, or come and take the bed and I'll sleep on the couch, or whatever. Like he's the type of person to literally give you the shirt off his back and be like, what else do you need, bud? You know what I'm saying? And so that's very inspiring to me. And I really enjoyed when he did this video where he would just troll on Twitch and start donating just an ass load of money to people. And it kind of inspired me to do something similar when I was having like a really bad mental health day. I didn't get to donate any money, unfortunately, but I would subscribe to, like, you know, smaller YouTubers that were live streaming, or, you know, jump in chat and just say what's up and hang out and whatever. And it was nice. I did, you know, enjoy doing that. And it was you know, very inspiring for me. And then, of course, more recently, I would say Markiplier, man. Like he at least attempts to keep up with his content schedule, his content upload schedule. And then but he made like a fucking movie or some shit. He like directed a movie, wrote and created and directed a movie, which is fucking awesome. And I'm just like, bro, fuck yeah, like that's epic. That is absolutely epic. And that's something that I would love to see. Maybe I don't become a full-blown game developer or making a fucking movie, but perhaps I get to help out on like a story writing team for a game or for a show or for a movie or whatever have you. Like, I would love that. I would love to get to a point in our career together as a YouTube community that somebody reaches out to us and is like, hey, I want your input on this story that I'm creating or whatever, you know? I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Anyway. But Jack really did predict Mr. Beast's downfall on God. Yeah. What happened with Mr. Beast? See, I don't know anything about that. The Lord Commander cameo in KCD3? That would be epic. That would be pretty fucking cool, man. Mark, Bob, Wade, and Sean were my childhood. Yeah, absolutely, dude. The trio, man, or the four of them, and PewDiePie, dude, just goofy ass PewDiePie, man. Super cool. Anyway, back to the 3 system deficiencies. We went off on a crazy tangent. I do apologize. So number 2. So number 1 basically said that the buff and debuff applications have like a minor delay depending on like if you're switching commanders or if your commander dies in battle. But 99% of the time it remains in sync, so it's good. So it should be good. Number 2, dragon damage is really a combination of their ultra knight damage wherever present and the buff to the damage the army itself has. That means a massive dragon in a tiny army may actually do less than a small dragon in a massive army. As we cannot directly damage an army, this is unfortunately the best we can do. Got it. So it's best to try and actively plan out like an assault tactic. Yeah. A massive dragon in a tiny army may actually do less than a small dragon in a massive army. Got it. Okay, so from what I remember from this dev diary specifically, the dragon has its own combat prowess that's calculated differently. And that, yeah, dragon damage is a combination of the dragon's ultra knight damage, so their dragon prowess and damage, as it acts as a ultra knight within the army, and the buff to the damage the army itself has. Got it. So overall damage output is determined between these two values. So if you're leading a massive dragon in a small army, yeah, it may actually do less than a small dragon in a massive army. Got it. I feel like that's also because they can't directly determine what a dragon will target in said army, right? So they can't say like, oh, the dragon targets directly the army, but the army has no effect on the dragon. No, it's not going to work like that, you know? So there would be a chance for like, you know, this kind of mismatch of damage output. That makes sense. And deficiency number 3, armies without a commander cannot be buffed even when a dragon is present. So there has to have, yeah, an army commander with a dragon present. Got it. Luckily for me, I'm one of those weird guys who like to have all of his troops clumped up into one army anyway, because I like seeing the big number march across the land. That's also why I'm really bad at RTS strategy games, because I just like seeing the big clumps of armies just rushing across the terrain and shit. So that's pretty interesting. As I said at the outset, these are the sacrifices we make working within our limited system. Personally, I find a helpful headcanon in that the dragons are not just damaging willy-nilly, but their effectiveness also boosts the effectiveness of the army as a whole through strategic positioning and hitting enemy weak points. I like that. That's pretty cool. Moving away from the nitty-gritty math, though, it still feels very smooth to play, and we've had our QA folk enjoying it for quite a while now. While ideally we'd like to get it more perfect on the math end, this is the best we could do with the current system while balancing performance and smoothness to gameplay. For fuck's sake. The Lisp, dude. Jesus Christ. Of course, warfare consists of more than just battles, but I've already used up my word limit, so like Ned Stark's corpse to Catelyn, this is coming to you in 2 parts. You son of a bitch! That's so funny. Who wrote this one? Was this Uber? It sure was. Ah, you silly sausage. Silly fucking man. That was fucking funny. That fucked me up. Okay. So part 8, you've woken the dragon. Today is a really exciting day as everyone awaits the premiere of House of the Dragon Season 2 tonight. This did not age well. While we see the show's Westeros priming for war. See? Priming for war. What fucking war? Nothing happened. Today I have Sillilex with me. Sillilex with me again with no surprises this time. Let's get into it. Dragon Sieges. Here we go. When Aegon the Conqueror rode Balerion the Black Dread over Harren's castle, Westeros learned that walls do not protect you from dragon flames. Such power will be yours to wield should you face a siege or be yours to face should you choose to fight those who have mastered the power of Old Valyria. Similar to an assault, you will have a button on the castle to use your dragon. That's beautiful. There is no dance in Ba Sing Se. But I prefer now how Crusader Kings has you actually play your character instead of something like EU4 or Total War. I agree. I think I've seen this mod. Yeah, so this is just the basic A Game of Thrones overhaul mod, but this is specifically the subreddit where they're going through the developer diaries of their dragon update. So they are adding dragon characters into the game for the Game of Thrones mod. Well, at least we'll get a small fight at Rook's Rest. True. That's not what I meant to do. Sorry, guys. Yeah. But that's pretty interesting. You will decide to use Loraxes in the siege. This will pop up an event window to choose how you'd like to siege the castle, from simply focusing on outer defenses to burning the keep itself. The siege of Storm's End, the dragon's approach. I stand before the walls of Storm's End, my dragon Loraxes at my side. Our men surrounding the holding, the defenders trapped within, cowering behind their walls. Though we should doubtless force them to surrender with enough time, no walls can protect them from dragon fire. It is not without risk, but I could ride Loraxes in to unleash his flames upon the castle and bring this siege to a much quicker end. We will strike easy targets first, softening their defenses. Those walls will not protect them from dragonfire. No mercy, the keep will burn, and no, we shall siege the old-fashioned way. Using these options will lower the fort level you're facing quite substantially, even at the lower levels. Moderate dragon siege destruction. This province has been damaged by the actions of a dragon, burning swaths of emplacements, watchtowers, supplies, and equipment. Fuck. Fort level -5. Jesus Christ. The options you see are those available to a large dragon of around 90 years of age. Smaller dragons will have to be content with lesser effects on stone. Of course, for the truly tyrannic beasts, there is an option to do what Aegon once did. Holy shit, bro. That's crazy. Storm's End, a ruined holding. Holy shit. You're so dramatic, Uber. What Aegon once did. ... Storm's End, ruined holding. I fucking love that, dude. Even the largest beasts will not find this a risk-free activity, though. Putting your dragons so close to their defenses will put both of you at risk of stray shots and extreme acts of bravery. This may end in your wounding or even death. Alright, let's zoom this shit in a little bit. The defenders of Gate Durandon have been harassing us with arrows and spears, the men diving into their stronger fortifications where they can to avoid our flames. Finally, I see an opening, a group of archers who have been foolish enough to gather all together. Only kept in cover by a small archway and a direct Loraxes to dive to strike. What? By a small archway, comma, and I direct Loraxes to dive to strike. Jesus Christ. As I do, I see the trap all too late. Above the archway, a group of defenders have been waiting on an adjacent roof, and as we swoop down, they jump towards Loraxes. Though many miss and shatter on the stone beneath, some of the brave fools find purchase, their downward thrusts finding their mark and digging the men onto Loraxes held by their spears and swords. Loraxes roars in agony and arcs up, throwing many of the attackers off, and rises into the sky, the rest falling to their doom below. Those brave bastards. Alright, so Loraxes got lucky this time. Jesus. Damn, that dragon is asserting its dominance by T-posing for real. Those are some impressive game models. I agree. Lord Commander, we have to raise at least one major city or castle to its stones. Low-key, I'm fucking down with that. So I'm gonna do a quick spoiler for you guys. I'll just open a new tab, but Sonny's Craven the Hunter movie. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Alright. So here is the Legacy of the Bastard Lion after action report that I created. Spoilers for the Amber Main finale on YouTube, which has not aired yet. It will be out this Sunday at 8 a.m. So I'm not going to show you the final slide. I'm actually not going to show you the last 2 slides. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I intend on doing this, and it's basically the after action report. So it's a description of what happened throughout my series. There are some very much better made ones, but I found that adding in as much information as possible has in fact yielded more upvotes. So that's essentially what I did. So starting with Lord Silas Hill, obviously, like all the stuff that he went through, adopted the surname Embermain and the house motto Service, Loyalty, Pride. Renamed his land Starfield, etc., etc. Lord Tydos, the shortest reign in the entire legacy. Lord Victor, the One Eye, replaced his missing eye with a fiery orange spessarite gem. Yeah. Arranged a matrilineal marriage between his daughter Maylane and the son and heir of the Westerlands Pillman Lannister. All of this can be seen in the actual series. All of this information I got by going back and rewatching the series. So it's not like I'm just making shit up. Yeah, in 335 AC, Victor Embermain became known as Lord Victor the One Eye. Yeah, the heir of the Westerlands was secured with the birth of Maylane's firstborn son, Martin Embermain. Yeah, in 349 AC, another expedition into Old Valyria set off, bringing back a Valyrian steel blade renamed Heedroar and a deadly sickness known as the Reaper's Will. Yeah, the plague was successfully fought off, but not before claiming the lives of Doreen and Martin Embermain, leaving Darik the dwarf as the sole heir to the Westerlands. Victor One Eye died of old age in 354 AC, well known for his grandiose balls. Ruled for 36 years, racking up well over 5,000 gold, fought in 9 wars, and founded a hybrid culture of Starfielders. And on it goes. Lord Derek the Longsword, Lord Alfred Strongarm, and then Lord Arden the Red Lion, before getting to Lord Paramount Tylan the Worthy. Those last 2 slides are spoilers for the finale, so I'm not going to show you those. But the reason why I showed you this is because I would like to make another version of this for our House Maelorros series and everything, you know? So I would absolutely love for our founder, the founder of House Maelorros, Lord Timerian, to have in here that he definitely burnt down one major castle to its fucking stones. So I'm definitely down with that shit. King's Landing must be a ruin if Aegon doesn't bend the knee. Wink. You're damn right, bud. Look up JJL Gaming. He has some great video reports. Five, 6, 7. And Aegon Blackfire too, yeah. Yeah, which fucking Aegon? Real. Anyway. Still, the effects may be worth it if you wish to rule over a kingdom of the ashes. All of this is also available to the AI, though. How far they will go will depend very much on their personality. Our vision for this is to give you the true power of a dragon to command. If it was done in lore, we wanted to give that option to the players. In Civil Wars, it is perhaps not wise to ruinize your own realm, but if you want to, you can. Fuck. Sorry. Terror campaigns. If you are not satisfied with the targeted ability of ruining provinces, an even more drastic option is available to you, the Terror campaign. Conduct Terror campaign. Sorry, my fiance keeps texting me, so I'm going to take this moment and respond back to the Queen herself. She says... Never mind. I can't tell y'all what she says because we're talking about paying bills. So the coffers and the the economy of your Lord Commander and his Queen are in fact well underway. So we're doing okay. That's all. Ah, shit. Anyway, as a rider of a great dragon, it is for me to decide how it is to be used in warfare. Though often their use has historically been restricted to enemy armies, there is nothing stopping me from using it to lay waste to my enemy's civilian population. You will begin a draconic terror campaign, damaging all provinces around you when you are at war. Such wanton destruction will cause extreme anger in your enemies and more scrupulous allies, both. Burn them all! That's crazy. Yeah. See, I don't know about that. We might burn down a castle for sure, but I don't know about doing a terror campaign. We're not that fucking wild. Avery Weathers, it be your own chronicle of the family and their great deeds. True. Not having to go asking the Iron Bank of Bravos for gold, for real. Yeah, honestly, doing this for every dynasty going forward would be amazing. Yeah, that'd be fun. Austin, what do you mean? Wow, I can't believe she would say that's insane. What do you mean? Question marks. Anyway, dishonorable, horrific, and extremely effective. This will enrage anyone with a shred of decency, but if you want to truly end your enemies for all time, the opportunity is available to you. Enemy counties that your army is in will get severe short-term debuffs. Dragon fires raging. The fires of a dragon's wrath still burn here. People flee their homes, see their livelihoods burn, and fill the roads with destitute and dying. Building construction time plus 999 or 99,900%. Holding taxes minus 100%. Development growth minus 100%. That's fucking insane. Essentially removing their ability to function while the attack is ongoing. After that, there will be 10 levels of escalating damage, ranging from relatively small, only lasting a month. Yeah, moderate dragon damage. A dragon has come through and burned a series of villages. Taxes and construction efforts may be diverted to deal with the damage until they can be repaired. Got it. To the extreme, preventing the county from functioning for many years. If yet more damage is received, you will start damaging the very development of the county itself. Even the greatest cities can be brought to zero development if the dragon's wrath is focused on them for long enough. Apocalyptic dragon damage. This county looks more like some vision of a cursed afterlife than somewhere people used to live. The very ground is burned, and it will take years before even plants are fit to move back, much less people. That's nutsos. Ran Dragon Terror campaign 8 minus 16. That's interesting. As mentioned, though, this will make you unpopular with all but your most unscrupulous. Oh my god. Holy shit. They actually added in the mechanic, bro. That's fucking nuts. There was another message for the I can't believe she would say that's insane. There was a bunch of spaces in between say and that's, but when I sent the message, it got rid of the spaces. Got it. The spaces where the silence that you said the fiance says. Oh, yeah. The fiance says? Oh, I get it. I see what you mean. Got it. Got it. My bad. I can't believe she would say. You're right. I can't believe she would say. That was... I'm sorry, I'm dumb, but that's actually pretty funny. I'm sorry. Anyway, as mentioned, though, this will make you popular with all but your most unscrupulous vassals and courtiers, to say nothing of the effect it may have on your enemies. This is the opinion debuff I got on everyone for doing this for just 2 months, and it stacks indefinitely. Shit. Oh, infinitely. Once again, our vision for this was to give you the tools that a dragon rider should have. However, even more than ruinizing single provinces, with terror campaigns, you can reduce whole kingdoms to poor backwaters. Using these in your own realm, when those who are your enemies will likely join your realm again afterwards, will doubtlessly bring the knives out afterwards, to say nothing of the economic losses to your realm. As an aside, we once had graphical effects for these working, but unfortunately we could not reliably remove them once they were applied. Until Paradox gives us better graphic GFX adding capabilities, where we find another method, you'll have to be sated with this teaser for what could have been. Got it. Okay, so they didn't actually add this in. This was supposed to be added in but there was no way to get rid of it after the fact, after it was done. So they, like after the Terra campaign or after the fires burned out or whatever. You might then ask, how on earth do I fight against such terrors to my holdings? Well, ... scorpions. That's right, we're adding scorpions too. They have their own cultural innovation, which the Dornish will start with and others may focus on. Yeah, anti-dragon warfare. Scorpions come in 2 flavors, men-at-arms and emplacements. Emplacements are buildings that come in 2 levels. Got it. Though they do provide some minor buffs, they are not intended to be cost-effective for anything but their intended purpose, disincentivizing dragon attacks. Though they do not remove the risk of a dragon sieging your fort, they substantially reduce the likelihood that they will get away with it. A dragon rider will be warned about scorpion emplacements. Yeah, the defenders have heavy scorpion emplacements, which greatly increases the risk of this action. And perhaps that will be enough. However, if not, they may still run the risk and suffer the consequences. Ooh. Interesting. The old Valyrians named their dragons after gods, and it is easy to see why. Orion is a god of fire and death, and I am his chosen. Yet just as the gods of old were felled by the faith of the new, so too can the greatest of weapons fall to the smallest. The rain of metal from the walls comes like a storm. I see Orion struck between his wing joints by the scorpion bolts, the guttural cry of pain cut short as another bolt slams into his neck. Blood pours from his wounds, and where we were flying, we are now falling, the ground rushing up to meet us. No, Orion, fly! That's tough. Siege of Good Tilth. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's nutsos. While this is helpful for holdings, it does not help any in the field. For that, you'll need Scorpion men-at-arms. Got it. Type, anti-dragon. Yeah. Very interesting. These men-at-arm units will provide a counter to the buffs a dragon gives in battle should you face them, depending on their size. Small dragons might be nearly completely countered, while most adult dragons will operate at half their effectiveness. Scorpion aerial coverage. This character's army has scorpions partially countering their enemy's dragon support. Cool. Of course, the largest of dragons are too strong to be pierced by all but the thickest of shots from a scorpion, and their effectiveness will fall off when faced with the likes of the Black Dread. Still, even a partial offset is one that cannot be ignored when facing beasts such as these. Additionally, fighting in battle against scorpions has its own risks. Where scorpions were opposed to dragon riders, there is always an element of luck for the rider. A bolt from the blue. The wind rushes past my face as I feel the power of Jaharix beneath me. We are flying towards the enemy lines, and I can see the enemy commander directing their forces. I'm about to bathe them in fire when I see a glint of lights from the enemy's lines. A bolt from a scorpion. It's heading straight for us. I can only watch as the bolt strikes Jaharix, arcs of blood and fire spraying from the wound. Jaharix lets out a roar of pain and rage, letting out a great gout of flame as we both cry in terror for our final moments. These are all half measures, though, mitigations and desperate attempts. To truly stand against a dragon, you must have your own dragons. Dragon duels. Here we fucking go, guys. Ugh, this is going to be awesome. Warfare would not be complete without dragon duels. When you are facing another dragon rider in the field or trying to siege a holding with an enemy dragon rider and dragon in it, simply using your dragon to destroy your enemies is not an option. Smaller or swifter dragon riders may try to evade the fighting, but should the enemy catch you, the dance is on, and almost certainly one side will not survive. Yeah, image in Discord because Reddit is refusing to add it. While both the dragon and the rider of the losing side can survive, this is an extremely unlikely outcome. Unlike vanilla duels too, it's highly likely that the winner will also come out worse for wear. In lore, we have had 6 dragon duels, and in every single one of them, one or both sides died. A Dance of Dragons is one of the deadliest situations your character can find themselves in, and should not be engaged lightly. Of course, that is unless you can simply chomp. There are some fun, precise interactions to be found here, but I'll leave you to discover them for yourselves. And that's a wrap on the main warfare features. Fuck yeah, dude. That's pretty awesome. L Dragon moment for real. Oh, Austin, let me actually give it to you. The link. Hold on. Nope, it was this one. It was this one. It says live new Dragon Lords coming to Westeros. The old woman. Oh, did it just copy the fucking... I thought it gave me the link, you rat bastards. That's so dumb. What the fuck? Did it not put the link? It didn't put the link. That's so dumb. Why would it... I don't understand. What the fuck? That's kind of goofy. Alright, hold on. Let me just go to YouTube. I thought I did that, though. Like, I don't understand. Lost. Traits. Inheritable. Genius trait. She's a barrowman. My
it did give you the
so
link.
far away, and I'm marrying a low.
Is it a link? Can you like click on it and it becomes a
hell,
link?
Dude. Is the only noble
I guess not.
a
I don't know.
38-year-old
When
woman?
it pastes, it looked like it was a link. I don't know. That's odd. But yeah, it should be there. Just find the live stream called New Dragon Riders Come to Westeros. It should be there. But yes, that is essentially the series that we will be doing. That we'll need some custom characters for. Leave them in the Discord channel for custom characters as well. I appreciate it. You've woken the dragon. Midweek dev diary, heterochromia eyes. We've already kind of messed around with that. Development and iteration. Okay, so this is our development process, trial, and execution. Over the past few weeks, we have covered things from the Rogue Prince bookmark to many different aspects of dragons and combat to having nearly 5-hour dragon development stream on Discord. There's different ways we are going to integrate these dragons into the underlying existing systems. Okay. Oh, our central focus today will be on how dragons play into executions, trials by combat, specific vanilla event integration, and then a variety of dragon flavor in general. I feel like that's a bit of spoilers, so I don't want to do that. The Court of the Dragon, though. We wish to go over a ton of our new visual goodies made by our incredible 3D team from a new Heart of the Targaryen house to the very seats they ride in. We have a lot to show off today. Today we'll be showcasing the work of White Wolf of the Rills, Jedi, Ali, Necro, and Nerdman. Cool. Ah, that's beautiful. So just a lot of new, like, 3D assets and stuff. That's pretty interesting. A walk up the stairs. Ah, very nice. Okay, so Dragonstone looks badass. The table has changed to match the Dance of Dragons bookmark. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. House Darklyn. Probably Sir Stefan Darklyn. New saddles. Yeah, dragon riding 3D. Freedom of the open skies. Yeah, new dragon eggs. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, cradle a dragon egg as a pedestal item. That's badass. That's pretty cool. Sorry, I kind of skimmed over that one. Because I knew that one was more of a cosmetic feature. I didn't want to read too much into trial and execution because I wanted to be surprised. How to slay your dragon and how to make your dragon are the two that I'm most excited to see. Dragon migrational patterns. I don't know about that one, but I haven't seen that one yet, so we gotta check it out. Good old Uber. Going over our dragon development diaries. But now we shall journey the like of noble knights of old and learn how to hunt down and slay a dragon. Mastering the hunt. Whether it is a dragon that has been terrorizing your lands or a dragon that you have been hunting for sport, attempting to gain a name for yourself, tracking down a dragon is no easy task. Dragons are elusive creatures and can be challenging to find and even more complicated to kill. Yes, slay a dragon. Depending on a variety of conditions, you may turn up with different results, with chances of finding a dragon, finding nothing, or even chances that the dragon finds you first. You will need to be prepared. You will need to prepare for anything. Yeah. Interesting. You must plan your attack once you find the dragon or its lair. Depending on different character stats and knowledge, you will have many options available to you regarding how you can approach the lair. For example, in this playthrough, Dauntos Darklin of Duskendale was a well-read man who had heard the stories of Serwyn of the Mirror Shield, a legendary dragon slayer. He knew that Serwyn had slain a dragon by approaching it with a mirror, and so he had also the option to try this approach if he believes the stories to be true. Otherwise, his common sense may lead him to want to seal the dragon within its cave and try to starve the beast out instead, attacking a weakened opponent. Yeah. Fight with the mirrored shield. That's a knowledge and prowess check. Seal the tunnel. Knowledge check. Confront Lycax. Or on second thought, this is a bad idea. Interesting. However, that is not to say that your character will always have the best of luck. Darklin was not so lucky today, and the dragon caught him amidst his plans, ambushing him prematurely and giving the dragon advantage in the upcoming battle. Very interesting. Yeah, so they sealed the cave, but found that the dragon was not within. That's interesting. Dueling a dragon. Once you have found the dragon, you will need to face it in combat. Like the vanilla game and the Dance of Dragon duels, each phase of this fight will give the player options to choose from, increasing or decreasing the chances of success and the outcome of the battle. Yeah, rush the dragon. You approach the dragon recklessly. Yeah, 50% you burn to death. Do a barrel roll. I need to get out of here. That's interesting. Even in the chances you step away a victor in this fight, you might be left with lifelong injuries. So with each move you make in this combat, you will need to dodge and weave, making your way closer to the dragon while facing a multitude of attacks. Even the graphics have been polished and updated to reflect what is occurring in battle, such as fires as your character gets burned. That's badass. Gain the trait Burned. Fire! Fire everywhere! The torrents of flame that the dragon has produced is intense, and the smoke it has produced is chokingly thick. Though it pains me, I must get closer to the dragon. With forceful speed, the dragon is narrowing the gap between us. His powerful jaws hang open, eager for a taste of my flesh. Rush the dragon, lunge forward, or I need to get out of here. Interesting. To live or die. Eventually, you will find yourself face to face with the dragon, and you will need to make your final move. Will you be able to slay the dragon, or will you be the one to fall? To lunge at the dragon, or to take one last moment to reflect and attempt your escape from the now incredibly close and enraged dragon. Yeah, stand firm, the dragon dies here. Those stats are pretty even, honestly. 20% you come out unscathed, 22% you're severely injured. 24% you are injured severely, or 34% you die. So, it's pretty interesting. It's not terrible, for sure. Even when turning to run, the dragon has found Mr. Darklin, jaws tight around his neck. Today, the dragon has won the day. Yeah, interesting. Gah! Sorry, Darklin. However, scripting a system to allow for dynamic dragon-slaying battles is only part of the work. To make these events genuinely riveting, I'd like to hand off our head of localization and editor and writing, Firefighter 451. Dynamic localization. I love how they crossed out and upcoming bookmarks. As we began to build out dragons, I knew immediately it would be extremely popular, and with that popularity, prone to banality. Our goal with filler events is to build out a roster of varied yet distinct events that fire throughout the course of your gameplay. The hope is that there will there are enough in the mix that you don't land on the same one repeatedly. Similarly, our goal with the bookmark storylines is that they feel like you are immersed in a book, drawn to read every sentence as you complete or derail the main events of A Song of Ice and Fire. Each event is crafted and unique, as they would only trigger once per playthrough. But dragons, say, I'm not playing as fan favorite Bobby B for the first of his name, King of the blah blah blah. You get it. A wild dragon pops up in my realm. Impossible. The dragons are all dead. And you know how much Bobby hates them dragons. It's time to slay. That's funny. Yeah. I refuse to die in a battle with a steaming sack of dragon piss. Oh shit. Did he? Oh, he lost an arm. My arm, ripped fully from its shoulder socket, lies writhing on the ground, its last pumps of blood playing a pantomime of jerky movements across the ground. Well, this didn't go as expected. Mother, warrior, father, I grasp for a savior, yet all I see is the stranger come to claim me. Famlier is attempting to shake me off its back. Ah, defeat. Yeah, look at that. He lost his arm. Without warning, Famlier fiercely attempts to shake me off his back. I willfully pull myself high onto Famlier's back, but with a ferocious shake, he tosses me to the ground. Yeah. Roars proudly as he descends upon me, teeth and claws enmeshing themselves into my tender flesh. Armor is not against a heinous god like this. R.I.P. Bobby B. Well, that didn't go as planned, but hey, we continue on as Stannis Amanus. Easy peasy, time to slay once more. Yeah. No matter the challenge, I will get vengeance for my brother Robert. Yeah. Rush the dragon. Nope. Immediately dies. Yeah, it was a calculated ruse to open my own defenses. Damn. Alas, Renly is but a whelp in this bookmark, so Famlier will live to see another day. With most events in this game, we write a single chunk of text for the player to read. Yes, these chunks of text can be complex, pulling in names, places, custom adjectives, local fauna, but largely they follow the pattern of one event equals one chunk of text. But for some events that will unfold once dragons are added into the game, you may find yourself trying them over and over, back-to-back dragon slaying from the Baratheon boys. If the writing is largely the same each time, you might find yourself doing what we all, even me a writer, have done, and ignoring the text completely to just check what options are available and keep things moving. Now here is where dynamic compiled localization comes in. Rather than write a few different chunks of text for each of the dragon slaying events, what if we break the chunk itself up into a series of randomized or triggered sentences, allowing for an entirely new chunk of text nearly every time someone encounters a dragon slaying event? This compiled method is used sparingly in vanilla, so naturally we had to turn it up to an 11. In fact, for one of the dragon slaying events, there are 20,000 unique permutations of the localization. Even if a whole dynasty of would-be Slagandreas, Jesus Christ, that, like, saying that out loud hurt my fucking shoulder. Hello? What in the goddamn Sam hell? What in the 7 L's? Jesus Christ. So even if a whole dynasty of would-be dragon slayers attempted to kill the same dragon, there's almost a 0% chance that the whole sequence plays out the same time twice. And trust me when I say you'll want to read every word of it. I've added Easter eggs, some fun, some gore, and plenty of new ways for your beloved characters to die. Enjoy. So, you've slain a dragon. Now how do I get its head off? Nice. If you are successful in slaying the dragon, you will first gain the Dragon Slayer trait, giving the decent amount of prestige, dread, prowess, and general opinion, as well as becoming known around the realm as the Dragon Slayer. Nice. Dragon Slayer. You'll also be able to take the dragon's skull as a trophy, which you can display in your court, showing your vassals and courtiers that you are not to be fucked with. Yeah, the 3D dragon skulls. That's beautiful. Oh, look at that. There's like different sizes of them. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, look at that. Big skull. Of course, you would notice that there are two variations. One is a full-grown dragon, while the other is the model for the younger/baby dragons. In the future, I hope to expand upon this with more unique models for both younger and full-grown dragon skulls. Final notes, importance, please read. I know everyone in this entire community is in max anticipation of the update. Yes, guilty, right here. But please try to sit back a little and enjoy the game and community. Try to come up with some more jokes than the same 4 or 5 repeating when update memes. Yeah, it's my only plead. Also, please, please, please don't share around info you think you know. If you can't source it saying, oh, I heard a dev mention XYZ without any actual proof, just spreads miscommunication and information about the community and leads to people ending up disappointed over dates or other information not actually sourced by this team. Cool. That's a pretty valid request from the developers. They are, in fact, working hard. So, I don't know. My take on it has always been the same, because like it's the same thing wherever you go when it comes to like a new season of a show coming out, a new chapter of a manga coming out, a new the next movie of whatever trilogy you're watching, or the next installment of a game that you're playing. People get finicky. People get weird and tend to get very fucking disrespectful when they're talking to the developers or the actors or actresses or directors, etc., or the writers, you know? Like we saw it with the whole controversy with like the Attack on Titan team getting like death threats because they were taking too long on the next season or whatever. And so what's his name? The lead writer of the manga said, "All right, here's your final fucking season," and then like cut it off at like a major cliffhanger. And when people like were outraged, he's like, "See, now stop fucking around. Shut your fucking mouths. Let me and my team finish what we started and stop sending death threats to my writers and my animators, because the shit's not going to get done any fucking faster." And honestly, it's the same thing here. Like, it is the same thing here. I love the community and I love the subreddit. Honestly, like, there's a lot of really creative people in here. There's a lot of fun people in here, a lot of inspiring people in here, but there's also a lot of like fucking deranged lunatics and just rude assholes in here as well. And they're all like, you know, if you know, why are y'all taking so fucking long? Or like the devs are lazy because they didn't do this and that. And it's like blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, bro, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like, actually just shut up. Either do it yourself and do it better, or don't fucking say anything, because you're going to end up ruining it for a lot of people, you know? Like, I don't care. Like, shut your fucking mouth, dickheads. Anyway, that is all. I will always have, like, a very aggressive level of respect for people who take time to do this shit. And remember, they're not getting paid to do this. They legally cannot get paid to make this content, because this is a copyright infringement of the Song of Ice and Fire. Like, they cannot get paid to do this. This is a group of people with tech savviness and like internet knowledge on how to do this shit, and they came together as a team to develop this mod for us for free. So kindly keep your fucking opinions to yourself. That is all. I'm not sure if these are fancy words or if you just can't talk. They're both. Only +2 prowess is such bullshit. Man, I finally watched AOT a few months back, binged it all within 2 weeks. Amazing series. It is very, very good. It got very convoluted and confusing to me when they started like time traveling and shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? I liked it better when it was just, you know, gotta go kill some titans before they eat us, you know? But anyway, Jon Snow, McQueen. Yeah, for real. But yeah, it's just dumb to me. It's dumb to me. Like, there was that whole situation with like the actress that played, or like that you know, yeah, that played Abby from The Last of Us 2, and the actress and her baby got like fucking death threats. And I'm like, how absolutely deranged and just genuinely fucking stupid do you have to be to equate the two. Like, one is clearly a work of fiction because Joel Miller doesn't fucking exist. He's not a real person. There's a guy out there that has his voice and has his face, but who has not ever done any of the shit that he portrayed himself doing in a fucking video game. The actor is not even dead. Like, how absolutely deranged do you have to be to equate those two as if like one is a justifiable consequence of a video game character being killed? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're actually fucking dumb. And it's the same deal with the actor, what's his name? Jack Gleason, who played Joffrey Baratheon, who got bullied so much that he quit acting forever after this. He genuinely quit acting because of all the hatred he got for playing a character on screen. He never physically hurt anybody. He never tortured anybody. He didn't cause anybody to die. But my God, the absolute delusions of people, of the fan base. Like, how... So, like, I understand that I like to roleplay everything, but I can distinguish reality from fantasy. But there are some people that are so fucking mentally stupid that they can't do that, and they take it out on real life people not knowing the consequences their words and their actions have. Like, how fucking dare you? Actually, how fucking dare you? You know? Like, it just irritates me. I am Rumpled Foreskin in the Discord. I'll send another file. These 3 characters for the Dragon series. Nice. I was just gonna talk about Joffrey's actor because he was good. He was very good, and I heard he was like a genuinely decent person, like very like sweetheart, in real life. And the fact that this poor kid, like, got just got shit on relentlessly by a bunch of fucking grown adults, who couldn't tell the difference between fiction and reality. It's so disappointing. Like, I'm gonna say some really like controversial shit, but there are certain people out there that are just not allowed to have opinions on anything. Like, I genuinely believe 90% of the issues caused by humanity nowadays would be absolutely just disappear overnight if people would just keep their fucking opinions to themselves and keep their nose out of other people's business. Like 100%. But that's a conversation for another YouTube channel. How to make your dragon. I am excited for this shit. Bet your ass. Fuck. Yeah, see, this is what I was worried about. This Dragon Rider trait adds 200. Oh, you can't see it behind my big ass head. Hold on. That's not what I wanted. Because I'm dumb. There we go. Adds 200 to the character customization score. Our character's already at 400. So either we gotta just deal with the fact that we have a 600 point fucking custom character, or we gotta take away 200 points of starting off with a character or with a dragon. Dragon riders are the few men and women who have bonded with a dragon wielding that fearsome power to their own ends. That is interesting. Yeah, similar to the menu from CK3 AGOT, the event will grant you the option of spawning a dragon of your own from game start. Yeah, a new dragon rider. It is time to carve out my place in this world as a new dragon rider. From the skies I shall write the very passages of history with fire and blood as my quill and ink. But what kind of dragon shall I reign with? Do I desire a young yet battle-ready dragon eager to fly, or a great aged leviathan with which to rain doom and death? Oh, holy shit. And there are 4 options: a young dragon, an adult dragon, an old beast, or an ancient monster. I feel like a Vagar-sized creature would be an ancient monster. Caraxes would probably be an old beast. Caraxes and like Vermithor. And then an adult dragon, I'm thinking like Sunfire and or maybe not Sunfire, but Cyrax, or something like that. Even Drogon, And then a young dragon would be like Tessarion. But still, that's pretty interesting. Players have an option of selecting one of 4 dragon sizes. Once the event generates your dragon, you are free to start playing as normally, albeit with a dragon at your side. Make sure to thank Veerwood for this awesome feature. Thank you, Veerwood, my lord. I love you. Though if you find yourself wanting to customize the looks of your newly created dragon, allow me to discuss what I've been working on recently. The Dragon Customizer. Many of you have been requesting that we add a type of dragon barbershop since we first confirmed dragons back at ModCon. I am happy to say that you will have this feature. Because of a rather unique approach CK3 AGOT uses to make dragons a reality, we're able to offer a huge amount of customizability with your dragons. There are two primary ways for customizing your dragon. For example, you can customize your dragon that spawns from your ruler designer. Got it. An ancient monster. Look at the size of that beast. Jesus. Yeah, the air seems to groan with the echoes of this dragon's growls. The very ground trembles at every step as it takes off. Towns and castles are swallowed whole in the shadow of its vast wings, and all living things gaze into its maw and see death. This ancient dragon is one of the most feared beings in the world, and knows it. Fuck. That's terrifying. Dragon Customizer. Sphinx. Yeah, look at that. Skin values. Holy shit. Skin value. Hue. Highlight hue. That's beautiful. Look at the scroll wheel off to the side there. Colors in this event window may differ to those in the character window. Got it. Yeah, Dragon Customizer. That's beautiful. I'm thinking a like very dark purple and black dragon to go with our purple Storm Dragon series. That's gonna be badass. Or you can edit a relevant dragon using the appropriate button in the character window. Both methods open the same menu and produce the same results. For example, perhaps you want to make Caraxes into the pink dread of the Stepstones. Yeah, that's awesome. The pink dread of the Stepstones. That's beautiful. The customizability is really only limited by your creativity. There is a long list of customizable options, so go crazy. Y'all already know it takes me hours to customize a human character. Imagine how much time it's going to take me to customize our dragon. This is going to be fucking amazing. Start this bitch over. Ah, that's beautiful. Tail length, neck length, old neck, jaw width, horns, eyebrows, center fin, neck spike, horn value, upper jaw, snout width. That's beautiful. Dragon egg colors. I'm not really interested in dragon egg colors. I do like the fact that certain dragons will hatch from certain eggs. Yeah. Or like, you know, dragons will hatch from whatever color the egg was when they were laid, I suppose. Work in progress, testing assortments of egg colors to dragon colors. Eggs can appear in multiple categories. Multicolored eggs can generate either colors, while rainbow eggs will generate any possible color. The system also means that your dragons can receive functioning color nicknames. For example, perhaps you hatch a blue dragon. Yeah. Gravefire the Blue Fury. That's pretty badass. That's all, though. Yeah. We're incredibly excited to bring these features to life and can't wait to see how you customize and play with your dragons in the Asoyaf universe, making very lengthy boys like Caraxes or big buffed out ancient creatures like Vagar, or making the most beautiful dragon around like Sunfire or anything else in between. It'll be exciting to see what everyone does with this new ability. I cannot fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait. And then, of course, the most recent one, 4 days ago, Dragon Development Diary number 14, Dragon Migrational Patterns. I love how there's no actual body text. Like, they didn't actually say anything about the dragon migrational patterns. This was their way of being cheeky, I feel like. And they're like, oh, let's see how dragons migrate. Oh, dragons are coming August 23rd. The dragons are coming to us. They are coming to you. They are migrating our way very swiftly on August 23rd. I feel like that was them being a little cheeky. And honestly, I'm down for it. I think that's fucking amazing. Just add the Dragon Rider perk. That's what I was thinking too. Sorry, I see all chit-chatting in chat. A lot of talent wasted, thanks internet. Yeah. Wait, you don't imprison and sacrifice your rival's children? I mean, I don't talk about it out loud, JBD. I thought that was a normal thing to do. My neighbor's gonna hate me. Shit. Just add the Dragon Rider perk. Wait, you still have a neighbor? That's funny. Y'all are fucking goofy, bro. But yes, I most likely will just add the Dragon Rider perk and just suffer the consequences of having a 600 point plus character customized. I don't give a rat's ass about it though. I give no fucks. I'm actually really excited for this, guys. This is gonna be really fucking cool. Very, very excited. I also did a thing in Discord where I mentioned briefly this idea that I had. So, you know how the Targaryens have like the same basic names, like they utilize a lot like the AE sounds in their names and then the YS sounds. So like Daenerys and Lucerys, Rhaenys, you know, so on and so forth, Aenys, Aerys, Rhaegar, so on and so forth, etc., etc. So for our Westerosi Valyrian cultured house, House Maelorros of the Stormlands, I was thinking of doing our own kind of similar way. My only issue is I feel like I need a couple more different options for it, because my intentions was, because our starting character is going to be named Tymerion. So it's Tymereon, Tymerion. That's his first name. And I was thinking, since we're starting our dynasty with him, there would be a method of like naming all the male heirs with that same suffix EON. So for example, like his children would be named Lucion, Andrion, Edarion, Torion, and Lethion, or some shit like that. You know, basically all of these names ending with EON. And then all of the female-born children will have the suffix EA. So it would be like Thea, Torea, Lucea, Andrea, and Lethea, you know, for examples. And I like that idea, but I feel like I need a couple more options, a couple more combination options. So, because I don't want everybody to be like, I am Lucion, son of Lethion, son of Tymerion, you know what I'm saying? It sounds like just a long ass list of fucking evolutions, you know what I'm saying? Umbreon and Epsilon and Dipshition and whatever have you. But anyway, so I was thinking we could probably add in a couple more combinations. I do like I wouldn't mind adding the Y in there. But still, like, not. It's an issue. We'll have to figure it out. I don't know. Tymerion. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I'll probably just do some extra, like, you know, thinking on my own. I can't wait to sit and design dragons. I agree. Am I the only one that recruit and brainwash my rivals and enemies' kids? I'm gonna go sit in the corner here. I'll join you in that corner. I'm now gonna send in a custom character with a Pokemon sounding name. Jesus Christ. I can't believe I did this. I can't believe y'all did this to me. Anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna end this live stream here. My neck kind of hurts and I need to eat something and probably drink another energy drink before I get down to recording our next episode. I also do apologize for not having a what's it called? Fucking House Amber playthrough. Again, with the coming update, I just kind of didn't want to mess with it, but also it got kind of boring. There wasn't much to do. Like, there's not really much to do in the north other than conquer your neighbors. Like, roleplay wise, sure, there's a bit, and like, I feel like being in the north, you're probably the only culture that could actively like go and join the wall of your own accord, and join the Night's Watch, which is what what's his name, our son and heir did. After he like lived for so long, he went and joined the Night's Watch and took the black and left his daughter as the ruler of House Amber and shit like that. But otherwise it didn't feel like there was a lot to do as compared with some of the other regions of Westeros. Not to say that I'm not gonna go through with any of our northern playthrough plans like we planned several months ago, but just that they're not my favorite. So I'm gonna do this for you guys because I listen to my people, and this isn't a dictatorship. My name's not Richard, and I'm not gonna make you eat potatoes on a ship. So don't worry about it. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say on that part. So I do apologize for ending that series early. I will admit that there's nothing wrong with the actual save itself. I have elected to end that series early because I was not having fun. So but anyway, I will be just patiently waiting for this fucking dragon update, man. I really cannot wait. Bernie on JBD, I hate you. Have a good night. Cheers to the stream. Good luck with that opportunity you mentioned. I appreciate it, JBD. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.